Good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's well. Getting that out of the way. The girls always like to see me. Anyway, so we're going to talk football today. Just a second. All right, so going through the lines and the injuries today, and lo and behold, Brock Purdy's doubtful with a concussion. So I go, what's the line? It was 6, so I'm running to bet it at 12. But it isn't 6 anymore. It's 3.5. So I ran and bet it at 9.5. So there's a second free pick for you. Take Cincinnati and 9.5 because Brock Purdy's doubtful. And then they'll go with Sam Darnold, who sucks. Burrow's playing well. Cincinnati, it should be a good game. Deebo Samuel is out. So if Purdy's out, that's going to hurt him. And, I know the Niners have lost 2 in a row, but the Niners have lost 2 in a row. What the fuck's going on? How do you lose to Minnesota? Okay, I can see losing to Cleveland, tough defense. How are you losing to Minnesota? So that after a loss, you lose to Minnesota shows me something. So what I try to do is pick up things as they're going. Buffalo loses to New England, loses to Jacksonville. I mean, this is not a very strong team. Pitt looked really good against the Rams. Pickett looked very good. I'm going, oh, okay, excuse me. Philly, they cheat, so they're good to bet on. Washington looks terrible. Washington putting up 7 points on the Giants. You've got to read into that. The Jets are a very good team that are just having a real hard schedule. And if Rodgers was there, they'd probably be close to undefeated. Minnesota's starting to play better. So you'll run into streaks just like in anything else. Poker, craps, roulette, red hits 8 times in a row. Well, that's what happens in sports. So Minnesota's starting to play well. They get Green Bay. Seattle's looking good. Kansas City's been fine. Denver, I find, getting better. Baltimore, they played Detroit. You can't tell. They should beat Arizona. Still a little curious. The Bears suck. San Diego, worst coach team. Oakland sucks. Detroit isn't really as good as they show because of their weak schedule. So don't get confused that Detroit's a good team. So that always happens. As soon as you start eating, then you sneeze. Anyway. Let's go through the NFL. Well, let's go through the NCAA. Yesterday's games. I didn't mark them down. I thought I wrote them in. So Jacksonville State beats Florida International 41-16. UTEP with a shocking upset of Sam Houston 37-34. I think I'm shocked that they got 37-34. The over-under in this game is 37. UTEP's a Z team. Sam Houston's a pretty good under team. 37-34. This is the problem. Ranking the teams. This is why you got to be careful. Yeah, UTEP looks like a Z team, smells like a Z team. But then you got to wonder, did they switch quarterback? How do they score points when they don't score at all? Hence the Z team scoring usually 15, 16 a game. Where are they getting 30? And Sam Houston's been a pretty good defensive team. Where's this coming from? Jacksonville State, Florida International. Yeah, B played a W, and the W acted like the W. In the ZU game, the Z did not act like the Z team. Now this is why I didn't bet either of those games. Jacksonville State, they're brand new Division I, same as Sam Houston. So we don't know who Sam Houston is. To start betting them is ridiculous. So, and if you notice, what they're doing is putting this shit on Tuesdays and Wednesdays so people can bet it. And good luck betting. You're going to bet on UTEP? I mean, come on. Let's look at tonight's game, and then we'll get to the pros. Tonight we've got two games. We've got VTech 2.5, 47.5. Hasn't really moved. And we've got Georgia Southern 1.5, 62.5. Was 2.5, went down to 1.5. Syracuse maybe is a B team. We're not sure. They didn't show up against Clemson. They didn't show up against North Carolina. So we think they're a B team, but we seriously doubt it. We think they're more of an under team. VTech's been scoring a little bit more. They've got a 24-25 offense. Give up 24. So they're EE, which means mid-20s. So everything means something, so I can see their total, but then you still got to micro into the total. Is this against high school teams or against Alabama? What are you doing? Then we got Georgia State, who's a B team with a 23 defense, and Georgia Southern, who's an A team with a 24 defense. So basically, Georgia Southern scores a little bit more. The game's at Georgia Southern. They're laying a 1.5. So in this situation, it's almost tease the dog, but we're not sure. I'm not going to play either of these games. I think this is just more a way to divert you into betting it. I mean, it's really, you don't really want to play this. Maybe Georgia Southern and Georgia State's probably a rivalry. Probably, if you had to bet. If I'm at Caesars and I win $500 playing poker, I might bet $50 I would take Georgia State. Maybe. But I'd have to read more into it, which I'm not going to do right now. So, no play tonight. And then we got Tampa Buffalo. Let's go to the NFL tonight. Buffalo's up to 9.5. 43.5. That hasn't moved. Both have a 17 defense. Now, being the NFL, you really don't have the high school game. 9.5 with Buffalo off of a loss to New England. Now you're questioning. They're not very good, are they? We can see they have a weak defense. We know Tampa sucks. Let's check the injuries. Is Mayfield out? So let's go to Buffalo. Well, first let's check Buffalo. So linebacker out, tight end out, Von Miller questionable. He just came back. He's questionable again. A couple others probable. Josh Allen probable with the shoulder. Knocks the tight ends out. D. Harris, running back, out. Never heard of him. Then we've got 7 IRs. We've got defensive tackle. We got Milano. We got a cornerback. Then we've got a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end, and an OT. That never heard of any of them. Most of these are August, except for this D. Jones is October 11th. The Harris, the running back, is October 20th. And Milano is October 11th. So pretty banged up. Josh Allen's okay. The receiver's okay. They don't really have running backs. How is Josh Allen going to run with the shoulder? Is he going to think he's Franco Harris or what? This is the problem. When he gets hurt and you got to pay him so much, there's nobody left. You're fucked. That's why you don't want him to run. Now we'll go to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Godwin, probable. Mayfield, probable. Safety, Merriweather, out. O-lineman, Feller, out. Edmonds, probable, the running back. Vita Vea, questionable. And then we got 2 guys out since August. We don't care. Gage, but he's been out, so it doesn't matter. So really, Tampa Bay doesn't have that many problems, not any more than others. We'll come back to this after we go through the line. So what do you do here? Buffalo's not a bad home favorite. Off of this Thursday night, this bullshit, after, so they go to, I don't know how you can bet Buffalo. So they go play at London, and then they go home. Then they get New York Giants, where they look like shit. Then they go to New England, and they lose. I think they're still out on this London thing fucked them up. And believe me, I know. I go to Europe. It fucks me up. You're fucked up for a week. You don't know when to go to bed, when to get up. Your eating habits are fucked. So there's no way I'm touching Buffalo minus 9.5 today. 8.5, I might have laid a field goal. At best, I think they win by a touchdown. I think Tampa in 15.5. They got Mayfield. They've got the receivers playing. They're not a good team as the problem. So let's break them down. They're an under team with a 17 defense. Buffalo's an 18 with a 17 defense. Mayfield against Allen. As far as a teaser play, they're a decent home favorite. Tampa's a decent road dog. Nothing special there. I don't know with Mayfield. I just think Buffalo. If we just think of this logically, you just gave up 29 points to Mac Jones. How the fuck do you give 29 points to Mac Jones? He's terrible. Mayfield's a little bit better than Mac Jones is. But again, it takes time when you keep jumping teams. It's not good. It's not, this whole portal thing in college is not good. It's a bad sign that all these babies feel like they have to go to a different team to play. And they're all not very good anyway. Look at Hartman. Guy's an all-star at Wake Forest. Goes to Notre Dame. And he's really not – he looks good in games. Their play calling sucks. They don't know how to call the plays for Hartman. They don't realize that, look how good he is. This is the play. Let's change our playbook to his strengths. They don't know how to do that. So their play calling just blows. Even against USC, they had a couple of interceptions, and then they had that fumble recovery. They didn't really. They should have put up a 60 on USC, and they didn't. That's the problem. Defensively, they were good. They could run the ball on them, but you could just destroy USC with Hartman. If Wake Forest had played USC, they'd have put up 60 points. So that's Notre Dame's problem. So just because of the portal. So here you got Baker Mayfield. I don't know what team he was on last year with the Rams and Cleveland and wherever, Oklahoma still. I don't know if he could start at Oklahoma now. Or USC couldn't start. Hey, Prophet, nothing much. Just going over tonight's game. So I don't know how you lay 3.5 in a teaser with Buffalo. Mayfield's pretty. I think maybe you go under, but it's hard. They played a 29-22 game, or no, 29-25 with New England. They played a 54. So it's hard to go under there. Do we go over 37? Buffalo, 29-25. Tampa last week, 16-13 game with Atlanta, which I actually had under, and I actually won the under on it. 17. It's really the problem is the league's so screwy. You don't know what to expect. Is this going to be low scoring? You got 217 defenses. You got Josh Allen playing with his head up his ass. I mean, they had to come back and score 2 touchdowns late in the game to take the lead on fucking New England. And then New England's a 25 defense. Really? And they're giving up 29 points to Mac Jones. Really? So I don't buy that. It's a real hard call. I honestly, the 9.5 throws you off the 3.5. I mean, hard to lay 3.5 in a teaser. So maybe you take 15.5 with Tampa, but Mayfield but they're so weak. Are they going to score? Are they not? So this is the problem. This game is the whole problem with the league. You have no idea what you're getting. So superficially, you'd go, oh, both teams have a 17 defense. Over under is 43. I can go 49. I can go under 49. Allen's got a hurt shoulder, but he's playing. Maybe he hurts it, and he's out. Mayfield's also injured, but playing. So you don't know what to do with these quarterbacks. I don't love either one, not like I like Burrow and Mahomes. I'm waiting for Bobby. He asked for a Barry Bonds card, so this is the red label, so this is the limited one out of 100. So waiting for Bobby to show him the Barry Bonds card. Anyway, again, if you put a gun to my head to make a pick, I'm going to have a hard time. I'm going to think I'm going to go under 49.5 because I don't think Tampa scores much. I think Buffalo is going to be upset that they've lost to fucking New England. They have to. Let's look at the standings. So if we look at the standings, which is critical, so Deshaun Watson's out for Cleveland. What should Cleveland do with its star quarterback? What star quarterback? All right, so let's go to the standings. So Miami's 5-2, Buffalo is 4-3. So Buffalo has to win this game. And all of a sudden, here comes the Jets at 3-3. Baltimore 5-2. Cincinnati is weird because they're 3-3. They're really a game back, as bad as they've been playing. But Baltimore played 7 games, they played 6, so they're 3-3. So really, they're a game back. They need the game. Okay, Jacksonville 5-2, KC 6-1, and nobody close. So Buffalo must win this game. Well, they don't must, but they're a game back. So they need it, but they needed last week. Philly at 6-1, Dallas 4-2, Detroit 5-2. Minnie's only 2 games back, breathing down their throat. They get to play them twice. Atlanta 4-3, Tampa 3-3, New Orleans 3-4, and Carolina 0-6 in this division, having played everybody else is a joke. And then Frisco's 5-2, Seattle 4-2, the Rams 3-4. So right now the 1 seed's Philly, the 2 seed is San Francisco. Seattle's the 2.5 seed because they've only lost twice, and Dallas is 4-2. But they've got Dak Prescott. So in this pile of manure, Tampa 3-3. So Tampa needs the game. Buffalo needs the game. So what's my take on Michigan scandal? What scandal? First of all, there's nothing wrong with stealing signs. They do it in baseball. They do it in football. I don't really get it. If you're stupid enough to hang up a sign that has 4 little pictures on it, and you're going to run the plays instead of signaling them in or just rotating guards. I don't know. I have no idea. How it's even a rule is beyond me, but I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Why is it an issue that they're getting signs? Who knows if they're even the correct signs? I could fool, like when I play poker, you can't read me because I know you're watching. I know you're looking at me for a read, so I give you false reads. So you tell me these teams don't give false ones out? I don't know who caught it. I don't know why it's an issue, and I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. Okay, Prophet. I'm not interested in your picks, Prophet. That's not the show. That's not the class. If they are recording using any electric, there's an NCAA violation. So speeding, but who gives a fuck about that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, so is pass interference, but half the time it's not called, half the time it's called too much. So is holding. Holding's a penalty, but they don't call half of it. They don't call them on Alabama. So, yeah, there's rules, but they're never enforced. This is the stupidest rule. Why is it even a rule? And I don't really give a shit about it. It's got nothing to do with picking the game, so I don't care. It's a stupid rule. It's just like Houston winning the World Series because the other team was too stupid to put fake signals out. Come on. If everybody heard the garbage cans clanging, knowing that it's a curveball, you're telling me the other team is too stupid to switch their signs and say, if I hit my left knee, we won't do those signs. Are you telling me they didn't realize that? Just like me sitting at poker, not realizing people are trying to read me to see what I got. Am I that stupid? No, I put out false signals. If these guys are too stupid to put out fake signals or to hold up a 1 or a 2 for the signals, They get what they deserve. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to find anyway. What's the difference? At the end of the day, the quarterback goes to the line he can make an audible, right? So he goes to the line, he sees the defense, it's signaled in. There's one or two plays I can either run or pass. Half of it is the run pass option, which I invented, which is you read the safety, and if the safety comes up, you throw it. If he stays back, you run. What the big fucking deal if I know your signals? That's what you're going to run. I know you're going to run it. What I don't. It's too stupid to really talk about. I don't care what Houston had. If the team on the other side is too stupid to realize that the signals are being picked up to call a alternate signal, they're fucking idiots and deserve what they got. You guys, stealing signs is legal. If I'm on second base, excuse me, I gotta take my wife. That was good. I hadn't heard from Daria in the morning. She's working. That's all I ask her. Just see you're working. Um, anyway, at this point, the other teams Michigan is playing down the road should change their signs immediately. What signs? I will be hammering Michigan the rest of the way. Well, you better be careful at Penn State, and you better be careful against Ohio State. Those are I don't know their schedule. If they're playing Iowa or Wisconsin. If they're at Iowa, they always lose. At Wisconsin, the quarterback's out. They can do it. But, be careful. You'll be laying 35 points. And if they're a road favorite to Penn State, they're in trouble. But as I say, you can read me in poker, right? There is no signs. I'm sitting there and you can read what I'm doing. So if I have a full house, I act nervous and I push my stack over to make it look like I'm bluffing. And then I get called and I got a full house. If you can't think like that, you shouldn't be fucking playing football or baseball or coaching it or using signs. If you're that stupid that you don't think people are looking at your signs, you have no business bitching about it. That's all I can say. You should be ahead of the curve as I am and knowing that people are looking at my signs. What do you do when you're at second base? If I'm on second base, I'm looking at the catcher signs and I'm signaling to my team, it's a curveball, it's a fastball. What's the difference? Where's there a difference? And what do? They switch signs on me. So the one might be the curve and the two might be the fastball. They don't keep the signs when I'm on second because they know I'm looking. So how is it any different if they're that stupid hearing a garbage can or hearing things, signs or anything? If you're that stupid that you don't switch signs, you get what you deserve. That's all I can say. Absolutely. Ohio State game's at Ohio State. The Penn State game's at Penn State. And they're going to lose to Penn State, and they probably, I don't know if they can beat Ohio State with this defense at Ohio State. Ohio State purposely switched their defense to stop Michigan. That's it. That's all they focus on. It's a run defense, and Michigan won't be able to run on it. So I look for a very low-scoring game in that game. And Ohio State's quarterback sucks. So it's going to have to be a low scoring game for them to win. The only problem is you're looking at Michigan. They haven't played anybody but high school teams. The best team they played was Rutgers. Rutgers is the best team they played. So you're overvaluing Michigan based on them playing nobody. The problem is with the schedule, they got a Penn State and Ohio State. That's why they got lit up by TCU last year, and that's why they got lit up by Georgia the year before. They don't play anybody. They get what they deserve. Watch the schedule. I would take Oregon, Washington, Utah, UCLA, all over Michigan. They're all better. Oregon State, not Washington State, but Oregon State. We'll see. They got a big game this week. Just because there's a loss because Oregon played Washington does not mean Oregon's not a good team. Look at the schedule they play. This week they're at Utah. Okay, if they can win that game, and I don't think they can, they're much better than Michigan, but they got a loss because they had the balls to play Washington. Michigan had the balls to play UNLV. So it's all bullshit. It should be based on strength of schedule. Michigan would be about the 20th team in the country. You have no idea how good Michigan is. At least Ohio State has beaten Notre Dame, and now they've beaten Penn State. I'll give Ohio State should be ranked 20 spots ahead of Michigan. How do you reward a team that's played nobody? I mean, that's just bullshit. I have Michigan at the top of my power rating with Ohio State a close second. Well, your power rating is not even close to reality. Georgia's by far the best team, then Florida State, then Washington, then Oregon, then Oklahoma. You don't have Oklahoma or Washington in that mix. Washington's undefeated, beating Oregon, there was another good team they beat. Oregon's beaten everybody but Washington. You don't have Florida State up there. You don't have Oklahoma up there. They beat Texas. Who the fuck is Michigan beat? Your power rating is not good. If you're not looking at who they beat as points, you should rank that like Ohio State beat Notre Dame, they get 10 points. Ohio State beat Penn State, they get 10 points. Michigan beat Bowling Green, they get 1 point. Michigan beat UNLV, they get 1 point. Michigan beat Rutgers, they get 2 points. Michigan beat Michigan State, they get 2 points. Add up the points. I got you on 2 games that you can have 7 of Michigan that are fucking meaningless. That's not how you're way off base on what you're doing. Power ratings are how good they are against other teams, not against high school teams. Sorry, you missed the point by a mile. I have Florida State 3rd, Penn State 4th, and it was Jesus. Your power ratings are terrible. Where do you have Georgia? Since you've just named 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, you don't have fucking Georgia in there. Where do you have Washington? Where's Oklahoma? You have Florida State 3rd? And in 5 teams, you don't have the best team in the country, Georgia. You don't have the second best team, Washington, and the 3rd best team, Oklahoma, in your top 5. And you want to call it power ratings? What the? I don't know what you're doing. What you're doing isn't power ratings. Why you're doing power ratings, I don't know. But what you're doing, there's a saying. If you're quiet, nobody knows that you don't know anything. But when you start talking like this, you bring out that you don't know anything. So sometimes just be quiet. This is the stupidest power rating I've ever seen. Right? Okay. Where's Texas? Where's Oklahoma? Where's Oregon? Georgia 9th, Washington. Okay, so we're done with your fantasy power ranking. So I don't know what to tell you, Prophet, but you're out of your mind. You have no idea what you're doing. So let me put it that way. Okay, that is not only that, but why are you even doing power ratings? Power ratings are stupid. Yours make no sense. How the hell do you have Georgia 9th? Georgia would beat everybody. Nobody can beat Georgia because of their defense. All right, enough of that. So Buffalo is three. Tampa, so Tampa is 3-3, game behind. I don't know. I think the only way you can play this game is under 49 because of the defenses. Buffalo struggled with New England. Tampa, Atlanta was low scoring. I think this will be. I don't know how you can go 9.5 to 3.5. I just don't see it. All right, let's get back to. Let's get back to where we are. Scores, and so let's go through the line. I don't think I did that. Okay. So we've got New Orleans 1.5, 43.5. New Orleans is gone favorite. Motherfuckers. So Indy was favored, now New Orleans. So now I got to change all that. I like the dog in the game. Now I got to rethink the dog in the game. Jacksonville 2.5, 41.5 to Pittsburgh. I don't understand that line. Houston 343.5. Are we ready for Houston to be a road favorite, even against a team as bad as Carolina? Let me put it to you this way, Prophet. If Georgia was playing Carolina, I would lay 10 points with Georgia. If Michigan was playing, I don't think I'd lay any points. Philadelphia 6.5, 43.5 to Washington. As long as they're going to cheat, I might as well bet on the cheaters. I mean, this is like the Philadelphia Madoffs. Well, we're going to run it up the middle and push, and we'll get 3 yards cheating, playing rugby, while everybody else plays football. So I might as well bet on Madoff, the Philadelphia Madoffs. I love it. Dallas 6.5, 46 to the Rams. Rams, Pitt lit them up pretty good last week. I was kind of impressed with Pickett. He had some nice throws, and they beat the Rams, which I was shocked that they beat the Rams. Rams have been playing pretty good ball. Yeah, they lost to Frisco. Who doesn't? But I was shocked. Pitt came in there and just they got pressure on Stafford, and he can't handle that. So Dallas, we'll see what they do. 6.5, 46. Miami 9.5, 45 to New England. Now, looking at the injuries, Tyreek Hill's questionable, Waddle's questionable. In my world, questionable means you're playing. I mean, that's not doubtful. Whatchamacallit is doubtful. Purdy is doubtful with concussion. Now, normally he'd probably play, but he's got to go through concussion protocol, which he'll never get through. So I think Purdy's out, which makes me like Cincinnati a whole lot more. I liked him a little, but now I like him a lot. So Miami, if they play, it's an over. Miami's going to score 40 points on this team. The Jets, the Jets, -3, 36.5. And it's really a home game because they're playing the Giants, so it's not like it's a road game. It's a really interesting thing because they both play at the same stadium. Oh, my God. Atlanta, Tennessee. We got Atlanta 2.5, 35.5. Atlanta's an under every week. So's Tennessee. Minnesota's now 1.5, 41.5. This started at Green Bay 2.5. Minnesota wins the Monday night game, and now everybody's like, oh, they just beat San Francisco without Jefferson. So all of a sudden, without Jefferson doesn't mean anything. So they're 1.5 point favorites. 41.5. So it's a very low total. Seattle 3.5, 38.5. Down from 40 to Cleveland. Watson is out again. So we got P.J. Walker against Geno Smith. Who are these guys quarterbacking? Cleveland, Seattle's playing really well because they got Walker and Charbonnet, and they got the receivers, and Smith's pretty good, and their defense is getting better. This is a very interesting team. So I like Seattle. It's Coach Pete. Kansas City, 7.5, 45.5 to Denver. Wilson against Mahomes is probably the best quarterback matchup of the day. We will see. 49ers, 3.5, 43.5 to Cincinnati. This could be an underplay too. Without Purdy, you got to like Joe Burrow. He's starting to play better. They put the sleeve on his calf, so his calf isn't hurting as much. I like, without Purdy, I had to go with Burrow. Sam Darnold, really? That's okay, but I got Burrow. So Cincinnati needs the game. The Niners don't, but the Niners have lost 2 in a row. The fucking Cleveland and New England, or to Minnesota. How do you lose to Minnesota? So I don't know what's going on with the Niners. I know Deebo Samuel being out shouldn't be that. Purdy threw 2 interceptions because the receiver ran the wrong route. He went in instead of out, and he should have went out. Interesting there. We got Baltimore 8.5, 44.5. Are they really the team that beat the Lions, or are they really the team that lost to Jacksonville and lost to Pittsburgh? It's hysterical. You have no idea what you're going to get out of Lamar each week. San Diego, 8.5, 46.5 to the Bears. The grocery clerk against Herbert. Interesting. And the Lions, 8.5, 45.5 to the weak Oakland Raiders. I think it's Hoyer against Goff, although I'm not sure if Hoyer is I'm not sure if Hoyer is going to be the quarterback or O'Connell or if even Garoppolo. He's questionable with the back. I think it'll be Hoyer. He played at Michigan State, so it's a homecoming for him. The Lions aren't 8.5 points better than anybody, right? So be careful with them. Don't get into the Michigan trap that our friend Prophet is having a problem with. Let's go to the injuries. All right, so we'll just go down the list. Start at Arizona, and we go down to Zenith. Where's Bobby Bow? We're waiting for you, Bobby. I don't know. I don't think so. I saw him as well. We'll see. Let me update the injuries. It doesn't say he is. It says, that's the first thing I went to. So Baker Mayfield, probable Thursday with the knee. Now, I don't know if ESPN came out. Let's go to Yahoo and see what they say. Although I didn't see it. He's probably playing, but let's see. Let's go to news. Fantasy picks, fades and busts. Will DK Metcalf disappoint? Fantasy football week 8, Buffalo and Tampa, Thursday night, how to watch. Sam Darnold might start for the 49ers. I thought he was out. Well, he's doubtful. Sean Watch an injury, puts Browns in awkward position. So Brock Purdy's in concussion protocol. I don't see where he's out. So where are you getting that from? Purdy's entered percussion protocol. He started showing concussion symptoms on the plane. Yeah, well, let's blame the concussion why they lost. That's good. Purdy has not been ruled out of Sunday's game against the Bengals. It's likely he will be able to clear. It's unlikely he will be able to clear protocols in time. No player has entered concussion protocol this season has been able to play the same week. So we got Sam Darnold. Okay. I don't see anything that says he is, let's see, fantasy for week 8, Buffalo, Tampa. Let's see, the Bucs dropping a low scoring affair. I don't see any issue with Mayfield. No, he's fine. All right, I got to get back to the injuries. Let's go. Fell back to Atlanta. Bobby Ball, I've been waiting for you. Okay, you there? You asked for a Berry card. Here's a Berry card. This is a red label. If it's a regular card, it's a black label. It's a red label Berry, and it's numbered out of 100. So they only made 100 of these cards. So I saw this. I didn't grab his rookie. I got his rookie in the same one I got as you, but so that's a 100-count Berry card, which should be worth thousands of dollars, but because he took steroids, it's probably worth $25. I showed you where I got these on covers.com. I show you. That's where I get it from. I get it for college and pro on covers.com. Well, let's say I have a good eye for talent. And I got a lot of older cards. I was looking through. I thought I lost a quarter ounce of gold. I was counting it for Daria yesterday. And I was like a quarter ounce short. And I go, where the fuck? I know I got 56 ounces. What the fuck? As I go into my bag, it's not there. So I go into my safe and I start pulling the cards out, going, where's the gold? And so I got a lot of old cards. And then I went to the then I came back and it was on the floor. So it had fallen out. When I emptied the bag, it must have fallen off the table. So it was pretty funny. But it's a disgrace that they're suppressing the prices to our cards and medals. Well, not to the cards too much. This is more the market saying Barry did steroids, Mark McGuire did steroids, Roger Clemens did steroids, Sammy Sosa did steroids, so the cards have no value. There's no demand for them yet, but I got a feeling. I don't know why the hatred for Barry. That's ridiculous. He was a great player. Then he went to Frisco, and he was an amazing player with 700 and 60, 70 home runs. It's like Pete Rose. Oh, he bet on baseball. He bet as a manager, first of all. Secondly, he only bet on Cincinnati, so it's not like he was making the games bad. It's like Paul Hornung. Paul Hornung bet on Green Bay. He didn't take the Rams and the Lions and the 49ers. He bet on Green Bay to win because he knew they were going to win. He was like, okay, we're going to kill this team. So he made a bet, and they won the game, and I don't get the big deal. Now the leagues are sponsored by DraftKings and BetMGM. It'd be fine. You're just a little bit away. But I showed you that one card was like 1,700, that one rookie. Okay, so I just went through the lines in the NFL. Tonight's game, Buffalo 9.5, 43.5. I don't understand the 9.5. It was 8.5. I might have played Buffalo. Now I can't play Buffalo at 9.5. So I think the play's under. I'm adding a free pick in the pros, Cincinnati. Brock Purdy, concussion protocol, probably won't play this week, which leaves Sam Darnold, which I love Joe Burrow now. So I'm adding Cincinnati. It was 6. It went down to 3.5. So I got 9.5 in Cincinnati, added to the Philadelphia Madoffs. I'm calling them the Philadelphia Madoffs as they have to cheat to win. So those are the two that we're going with. And then, of course, the USC over in college. I have got 3 No, I might have 4 locks going this week. I found a couple more in college. I got a good pro, and then I just added Cincinnati to the list today. Strong play. They're playing well. The Niners lost to Minnesota, are not playing well. Deebo Samuel's out. Purdy's out. You're going to blow away Cincinnati with Sam Darnold? Okay. Good luck with that one. Oh, and Bobby, we don't listen to Prophet anymore. He thinks Michigan's the number 1 team. And he's got Georgia ranked 9th, so he's not of stable mind, I can see. All right, Arizona. Zach Ertz is out. Is he still playing? Connor, the running back's out. Kyler Murray, yeah, he's out. Okay. Atlanta. Brooks Robinson's playing, the running back. He could play third base for the Orioles, and now he's playing running back for Atlanta. Well, that must be Bijan Robinson. Oh, okay. Now I know who it is. I'll call him Brooks from now on. So that should – I don't know if it'll help him or not. He's probable with an illness. What the fuck? This is professional football. You play ill. Some linebackers out. Another linebacker's out. 2 O-linemen are out. They got 2, 4, 6, 8 outs. 8 guys out. Baltimore. Let's see. Questionable. A lot of questionables. Cornerback out till November. Another cornerback's out. Ojabo, a linebacker from Michigan's out. J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State's out. Buffalo tonight. Linebacker Spector out. Tight end Morris out. Von Miller's questionable with the knee. He just got back. He's questionable again. Obviously coming back too early. Obviously not the Ram doctor who did him. Otherwise, they would never let him play. Knox, the tight end's out. D. Harris, I don't know. Running back's out. And then they've got 3, 6. They got 8 outs. Pretty much every position: a running back, a tight end, an O tackle, wide receiver, a linebacker, a cornerback, and a defensive tackle. I've never seen. Milano is the key out with the leg. So Von Miller, I don't know. He played 1 game and now he's questionable again. Carolina, anybody important? Now we don't know anybody on Carolina. Miles Sanders is probable, and let's see, anybody that could start at Ohio State. No, nobody there. The Bears. I swear the Bears, I don't think they could beat Humpty Dumpty's team in Illinois now. Humpty had them going against Wisconsin. Let's see. The Bears. Questionable. The questionables. Fields out till November with the thumb. And the grocery clerk lit him up last week for 30. Who did he light up? He lights up Oakland for 30 points, the grocery clerk. Oh, God, I love it. So do you want Fields or the grocery clerk? Watch, they'll bench the grocery clerk for Fields. Oh, God. Cincinnati, very healthy. Caldwell Jones, the wide receiver's out. An O tackle and a D tackle. Everybody else is fine. Most importantly, Burrow and Chase are fine. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson's out. Kareem Hunt's questionable. Nick Chubb, we know, is out. Conklin, we know, is out. So they're still winning. I mean, obviously Watson's done. They've got P.J. Walker putting up 38 points. Watson can't put up any. P.J. Walker puts up 38 on Indy. What I don't understand is how Indy put up 37 on a 15 defense. Can't figure that out. A lot of it is who they played. All right, Dallas. Let's see. Vander Esch out with the broken neck. Yeah, I guess so. Diggs out, cornerback. And they still have Prescott playing, so they're in trouble. Denver, big game with KC this week. Let's see. Tight end out I've never heard of. A lot of injuries to their defense. So Russell Wilson's playing, so they're in pretty good shape. Judy's playing. This will be an interesting game. It's at Denver. They've been playing better. I did an analysis. Denver's got a 31 defense. And I took the 70 points out from Miami as if it was a college game. And I said, well, let's add 20. Let's make it a 20-point instead of a 70-point game. And when I redid it, they're a 25 defense because they've been playing good the last few weeks against the Bears and Green Bay, real almost Big Ten teams. So I'm sitting there going, well, they're really at 25 because we got to throw the 70 out because it skews everything. So in my mind, it's a 15 defense against a 25 defense, KC Denver. So they are playing better. I'm not touching them. I lost with San Diego, which was a joke, but I'm not losing with Denver. I'm not playing them. I might be dumb, but I'm not crazy. All right. The Lions. Questionable. Oh, Montgomery, the running back's out. This is why the Bears let go, because he only played in 3 or 4 games and then he'd be injured. Let's see. A bunch of nobodies. Yeah, I don't know any of these guys. Yeah. So they're fairly healthy with the players, except for Montgomery. Green Bay, all we care about is Aaron Jones. He's questionable with the hamstring, which means he's still out, which means they're still in big trouble because Josh Love is horrible. Watson, the wide receivers, questionable with the knee. Bakhtiari, shocking, he's out with the knee. Like, why does he even show up? He's got a knee injury for 5 years. He joined the Julio Jones fan club of, I got a hamstring for 5 years. The Philadelphia Madoffs, yeah, isn't it? Well, they're cheating. Is the Rams DR the guy who does Rising? Yes, that's why I'm picking on him. How Stafford's back so quickly, I'm shocked. He had surgery on him last year, and Stafford's playing. But the Rams, like I told them, if I was Utah's coach, I would go to my orthopedic surgeon at the University of Utah Hospital, have him look at the knee. Then I would drive to BYU, who's a enemy of ours, and have that doctor look at him. And if both doctors say, yeah, he's fine, he should be playing, I would have a lawsuit out to this Ram doctor because he's keeping him out on purpose. And he keeps playing games like, well, let's wait till game time. And it fucks up your practice because you don't know if he's playing or not because he's healthy enough to practice. So you practice him, taking reps away from the other guy, and then you're all fucked up in the game because at the last second, when you think you might have Rising, oh, he's not playing, it demoralizes the team. So let's say, Bobby, that Barry was still on the on your team, and you're waiting. It's a game time decision. Is Barry playing? And you'd be all excited. Then at the end, they go, "Oh, sorry, Barry can't play. His knee's still hurt." You'd be flattered and shit. You're going, "Oh fuck, we thought we'd have Barry." I mean, it's such a joke. This doctor, I would sue him. I'd send him to Iran and say, "Here, go. Here's a jail. Why don't you go rot there?" What kind of surgery Stafford had? It was either a knee or a shoulder. Last year he got hurt and missed all. That's why they sucked last year. He got hurt, didn't play, and now he's back. So that's why I don't mind taking the Rams a little bit because Kupp's back, Stafford's back, and Arenado's back. So pretty fucking good talent back. So the Rams are a much better team than they were, but the lines aren't adjusted. Houston. Bunch of questionables. Stingley, our boy from LSU's out with the hamstring. That's the popular injury for the LSU guys, hamstrings. I think who else has a hamstring from LSU? Our guy, the receiver in New England, Boutte, he's got a hamstring. He's out. Honey Badger, I think's questionable, but I don't know if it's a hamstring. He's on New Orleans now, I found out. I didn't know he was still in the league. He played Arizona, then he went to Kansas City. Let's see. So Houston's nobody. They don't have much to start with. Indy. Now Indy's really turning into an over team. Indy's they score 25, they give up 27, and Minshew's the quarterback. So why did they draft Richardson? What was that point for? Oh God, Indy, questionable. Richardson's out with the shoulder. Hopefully he didn't go to the Ram. If he went to the Ram doctor, he'll be back in 3 years. Well, he might not be ready yet. Printer. God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They got 11 guys on IR, Indy. Holy fuck. Wow. Some defensive ends, safeties. Okay. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, questionable with the knee, but that's a lie because he was questionable with the knee last week, and he didn't have any trouble playing. They're at Pitt, and they're a favorite at Pitt, and Pitt just beat the Rams. Somebody please help me. I don't understand. You go to LA, you beat the Rams. Pickett actually looks pretty good, and Jacksonville is going to come in and be a 3-point favorite over Pittsburgh, who just beat the Rams. I don't understand. So this is all the bullshit going on with Trevor Lawrence and the whole C.J. Stroud and the Alabama quarterbacks. They all suck, but they're all trying to sell them. They're all trying to sell them like they're good. This is the problem with the league. Questionable. Cornerback out, some wide receiver out. Nobody. They got a Von Miller on their team too. He's out with an Achilles. Kansas City. I never heard of Jay Watson, a wide receiver. Never heard of him. Defensive end out, tackle out, wide receiver James out. So basically nobody on Kansas City's out who's any good. San Diego, until the coach leaves, they're terrible. How the fuck do they only have 2 wins with Herbert and Keenan Allen and the safety and Bosa? How could you fucking only win 2 games with that talent? It can only be the coach because it's fucking impossible. Let's see. Questionables. Mike Williams, we know he's out with the knee, the receiver. 2 safeties out, a center out, a DL, and a wide receiver. All right, the Rams. They're at Dallas. That's an interesting game. Nose tackle early December. K. Williams, I don't know. Late November. Rivers, I don't know. Late November. 2 running backs. Jay Taylor, I don't know. Why is Stenson Benson still out with an illness? I think Stafford doesn't like to have another good quarterback around. He did it with the Lions. He never let Kellen Moore play. So why isn't Stenson Benson getting some playing time? Throw him out there. Let him. He could have won the Pittsburgh game last week. Oakland, they're playing the Lions. Oh my God. Safety out. Bolton, a linebacker, never heard of, out. The cornerback out. 2 running backs out. And let's see. Well, their best player, the defensive lineman, is not listed, so he's playing. He'll wreak havoc on the Lions. Miami. So here's where I struggle. I love Miami over this week. It's 39, 45 down to 39 against New England, who just put up 29 on Buffalo. They will have no problem putting up 20-something on Miami. Miami will put up 40-something on them. It's the lock of the century. But I get into it. I'm glad the cornerbacks are questionable. But then I get Mozart questionable. But then I get Tyreek Hill questionable with the hip. And then I got Waddle questionable with the back. What the fuck are they doing to us? So the 2 key guys we need for this lock over are both questionable, Tyreek Hill and Waddle. So until I know, now in my world, they're both playing because they're questionable, right? Unless you see doubtful or out, questionables are playing. So we will see more probably by Friday, probably by tomorrow's injury. We'll at least know if they practiced. But I think they'll be playing, and the over will be there by halftime. I love those overs that, like, this spread is Miami 9.5, 45. -6 is 39 fucking points in a Miami game. I posted it, then I saw the injuries, and I deleted the post for now on the site. But put it this way, as long as they get Tyreek Hill, it's a lock. All right. Then we got some linemen out, and then probable questionables. C. Brooks, one running back I never heard of. I love when you see these guys, you've never heard of them. Jalen Ramsey, we've heard of. He's out with the knee. Acne from A&M, the running back, is now I hate this. Probable week 11. It's week 8. What the fuck do I care week 11 for? And then it's confusing because you think he might actually be playing until you read the small print, week 11, and you realize it's week 8. He ain't playing, so why are you putting it there? Fucking just say he's out, man. Minnesota at Green Bay. This was a good one. If they were the dog, had I bet it Monday morning, I'd have them as getting 8.5. Now they're laying 1.5. Let's see, questionables. Davenport, late November, linebacker, who knows? Jefferson apparently doesn't matter because he was out last week and they beat the fucking 49ers. So, Jesus Christ. Well, there was 2 interceptions and a fumble. That's how a good team loses, is turnovers. You cannot bet those. The turnovers that he purred through were the receiver running the wrong way because it wasn't Deebo Samuel. But if he had a concussion, now it explains why he saw the receiver break both ways because he was concussed. All right, the Giants play the Jets. Bobby, I'm like really going all in on the Jets. I think, Jesus, you've got to be kidding. Thibodeau questionable. This is what the Giants. Darren Waller questionable. Thibodeau questionable. It means they're playing. Oh, Darren Waller's got a hamstring injury. It's the flavor of the month. My hamstring. I got an injury. It's my hamstring. They got it on the wall. Hamstring injuries, other, and then it's 35 guys with the hamstring. Out. Running back Gray out. Never heard of him. Bunch of questions. Linebacker out, guard out, lineman out, tackle out, tight end out, cornerback out, fullback out, wide receiver out, O-lineman out. How many fucking guys are out on the Giants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 guys out on IR, out, not questionable, not doubtful, out for the Giants. And this tells you how bad the coach is because the players don't want to play for him. A hand, a tricep, the knee, You think Cal Ripken would have had a hand injury, wouldn't have played, or a knee injury? That was a man, not like these pussies. The Jets. See, the Jets are serious. Probable. Couple of questionables, couple more questionables. Reed, the cornerback's playing with a concussion. Gardner, the cornerback's playing with a concussion. The other safety's playing with a foot. One guard's got an Achilles. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got an Achilles. Why are they calling it an ankle when it's an Achilles? Some others. I have a strong INFJ on the Jets. They're laying 3. I can get 3 in the Jets against the Giants. There's no way that loses. I'm so in tune with that game. It's like, really, I can get the Jets in 3 against the Giants. The Jets are like 10 times better. The spread I have is 7? And it's not a road game. It's in the same stadium they play. I love this. The Jets and the Giants share the same stadium. How is it a road game for the Jets? Well, to me, it's a home game, except for it'll have Giants in the end zone. Oh, my God. Yeah, I fucking love the Jets here, getting 3. See, this is a game that you'll see the quarterback, Zach Wilson will look really good like the Denver game, right? All of a sudden, he'll look good because the defense, the Giants' defense is a 25. Compared to that, the Jets is a 20, which probably should be lower, but they're getting skewed on the Dallas 30-point game. All right, New England. Bunch of questionables. God, the whole team's questionable. Then you got some outs. Bote's out, as I said, with the hamstring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 Patriots out, and there's another 10 that are questionable. Nobody. The best player is Bote from LSU. Otherwise, I don't even know. There's no Gronk. There's no Brady. There's nobody worth saying. New Orleans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questionables, a probable, a questionable. Anybody good? Tyrone Matt, the Honey Badger, is questionable with a foot, but he's an LSU guy, so he'll be playing. Kamara questionable with an illness. What is with the illness? What you got the flu? You're not playing? Are you kidding? Or is he throwing up or what? Nobody good. Yeah, so really you got Honey Badger and Kamara questionable. They'll play. Philadelphia. The Madoffs. Questionable. Jalen Hurts probable with the knee. I hope he tears his ligaments when they do the whatchamacallit play, the rugby play. I hope he gets his knee stuck and he gets it ripped off. Motherfuckers with the stupid, and they think they're so smart. Like, well, we're the only team that can run it. Well, that doesn't make it. We're the only guys that got away robbing from the bank. We're the only ones who stole everybody's money in the real estate crisis. Yeah, okay, you're still cheats. Plus, I know you're going to run the play. You have no ability to do like a fake into the line, play action pass, hit the guy for a touchdown. That's how stupid you guys are. Anyway, safety out, wide receiver out, center out, cornerback out, defensive back out. There's so many teams with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Philadelphia's got 7 outs. It's just amazing how many people. Now, Pittsburgh, 3 questionables. McFarland, a running back, is the only guy I've heard of. Freiermuth's got a hamstring. He's out till November. Haywood, now we know, defensive tackle, and then that's it. So they only have 4 guys out, but Freiermuth's due back in November. So they really have a defensive tackle on an IR, and Trice on a leg, but they were both in August. See, Pitt, you don't mess around with. You're not out. You're not questionable. You're fucking playing. That's the difference between a good coach and a New York Giant coach. 49ers, Brock Purdy, doubtful Sunday concussion. Immediate. Bobby, as soon as I read that, I immediately put a bet in on Cincinnati, but the line went from 6 to 3.5, unfortunately. See, had you known, this is the bullshit. They knew on the plane ride home he had a concussion. The line was 6. You telling me that the Sharps didn't go bet Cincinnati in 12? Then it comes public on Wednesday. Oh, he's doubtful with a concussion. You knew that on Monday. Why is it coming out Wednesday? And the line goes down to 3.5. What kind of motherfucking bullshit is that, right? Everything's so fixed, it just makes me throw up. But fortunately, I figure all this shit out. So Deebo Samuel out till mid-November with the shoulder. It's amazing. I don't see Bosa on here. So really, that's it. Purdy and Samuel out. Trent Williams, the tackle, is questionable. Womack, a cornerback's out. D lineman's out. Cornerback's out. Wide receiver and tight end. All right, Seattle. Lockett's questionable with a hamstring. Walker from Michigan State, questionable with a calf. McIntosh might be playing. Our guy from Georgia is now questionable. He's been out. Now he's questionable Sunday with the knee. I think he'll get in there. He's better than the guy the Lions drafted from Alabama by a fucking mile. He's a strong, hard runner. The guy from Alabama's up. He just dances. He doesn't run. Let's see. Linebacker out for the season, questionable. DK Metcalf, questionable with ribs. Missed last week. Charbonneau, questionable with the hamstring. I think he missed last week. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 outs. Cornerback, defensive end, defensive tackle, nose tackle. So 4 defensive guys. Wide receiver, which doesn't matter, and an O tackle. So, hey, Real D. I calling Denver Broncos for the upsets to the Chiefs. I can give you a better upset if you want. How about Cincinnati to upset Frisco because Frisco's starting Sam Darnold instead of Purdy? Why don't we go with that upset if we're going to pick one? I'm a little scared. I did that last week with San Diego. I had San Diego in 12. How the fuck did I lose that? But Denver, I don't think they have the defense. The way Mahomes is playing, he just can find the open guy. I don't think they're going to lose. I do think that you got KC 7.5, maybe Denver in 13.5. I think that's a good bet. I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think they're going to pull the upset. They don't have the defense to do it. Although I do like Russell Wilson and, of course, Sean Payton. So that gives you a good chance to win it. And their defense, as I said, has been playing much better against the Bears and against Green Bay, though. So not real pro football teams they're beating. So let's hold it. If they beat KC, then we'll be on the Russell Wilsons. Until then, we're gonna maybe we take 13, but I'm not money lining it. So Seattle, again, they have 6 guys out. Tampa Bay, we've talked about. Godwin's playing tonight. Mayfield's playing tonight. Safety out. O-lineman, who cares, out. Edmonds is playing, the running back. Vita V, questionable with the groin. He'll probably play. He's a tough son of a bitch. And Russell Cage is out with the knee. Tennessee, let's see, probable, questionable. 1 out. Defensive tackle Stallworth, I don't know, out. Questionable. God, I don't know any of these guys. Tannehill's questionable with an ankle. And I don't see Henry on here, so that's good. And I don't see Andre Hopkins on here, so I don't think I see Hopkins. So their backup is quarterback is whatchamacallit, the guy from Liberty, Willis. Yeah, they're going to win with Willis. Yeah, okay, sure they will. Mm-hmm. And Washington, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questionable, 7 questionable, 8, 9 questionables. And oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 9 guys out. It's just, what the fuck's going on here? I wouldn't pay these guys to go out. I don't know how you run a football team. If you get injured, do they still get paid? Is it 50% pay? Otherwise, you're fucked because you've got 10 guys out. Means you got to bring in 10 new guys and pay them. Good luck with that. Let's see. Anybody good? Questionable. Nobody I've heard of. It's funny as I go through the names, I ain't heard of any of these guys. All right. So that's your lines. That's your injuries. Let's break the games down. So tonight, 18 Buffalo playing under Team Tampa, 9.5, 43.5. Defenses are both 17. Mayfield against Allen. The only way I see playing this game is under. I cannot lay 3.5 in pro football. This is a team that lost to New fucking England and barely beat the Giants. They are jet lagged from the London trip. They lost to Jacksonville, barely beat the Giants, lost to New England. The real Buffalo Bills have come out. So no chance. I think Tampa can win the game straight out the way Buffalo plays. However, I think that it'll be a low-scoring game. Everybody sees Josh Allen and they think it's high scoring. They don't realize he really is not very good. He did lead the comeback against New England last week, though. Let's give him credit for that. In New Orleans now, a 1.5, 44 over Indy. At Indy, I am shocked by this. Indy's an over team. New Orleans is an under team. I got Indy -3. I don't know why New Orleans would be favored. However, last time they did this was against New England. They won 38-0. Indy is not a team you want to go under with. They got a 27 defense. New Orleans with the 18 defense. You got Kamara, you got Thomas, you got Olave, and you got Derek Carr. So it's a team that can score with a very good defense against Indy, who can score. Indy runs a lot of strange plays. They're running their guys all around, and they got all these guys crossing, and they're open. Remember, you got a new coach at Indy, and you got Minshew now as the quarterback, not the other idiot. So look for I don't know what you do here. I had New Orleans as the dog. I thought was a good play, but see, now I'm a little bit like, okay, now they're 1.5. Do I take New Orleans in 4.5? No, I want the points. I want to get over a touchdown. So I almost got to play Indy in 7.5, and I'm really curious why not. They got a bad defense, but they scored. They put up 38 on Cleveland. So I was watching the highlights of that game, and I almost throw up at the refs now. It's 4th down. Indy holds Cleveland, and they call this phony pass interference, gives the ball at the 5-yard line, and then Cleveland scores and wins 39-38. A game that they should have lost. And the money went on Cleveland, and so of course Indy covered. It was 3.5, and it was 39-38. So it's just such bullshit. There's going to be interference every play. Do you really call it every play? No. But when it's the guy who's being held and he can't catch the ball, that's okay. Then call the interference. The guy that's to the offside, or in the Penn State game when the quarterback goes back, doesn't even throw the ball. You're calling this bullshit interference? Oh my God. It was ridiculous. The guy barely touched his shirt. Big fucking deal. He didn't throw the ball to him. He didn't impede his progress. The ball wasn't even thrown. And you're calling interference on that shit? This is just ridiculous. This is all socialism. We're going to control you. This is all under that. Just like a cop stopping you for speeding. That's how I view the league now, as totally incompetent, that they're taking, oh, you hit him too hard. That's a 15-yard penalty. What the fuck is going on? This is football. Jack Tatum couldn't even play now. I mean, that's how stupid it is. All right. So I don't know what to do. I think I like Indy as the dog now. I was all set with New Orleans as the dog, and now I got to change it to Indy as the dog. Over under 44 is 38. I think I like it over. Indy's scores. They scored 38 on fucking Cleveland, who's a 15 with Garrett and everybody. New Orleans defense is okay. They have a good offense. They should put up 25 points on Indy, and Indy should put up 20 here. 38, really? Yeah, I kind of like the over also. Jacksonville, 342 against Pittsburgh. Jacksonville's an even team. They give up 21. Pitt's an under team. So Pitt probably scores 19 a game, and Jacksonville probably scores 23 a game. Very close. Jacksonville's been hot with all the London bullshit. Trying to figure them out. They run all these bullshit reverses and Etienne runs. Trevor Lawrence runs. But guess what, folks? You're playing Pittsburgh. They're not going to fall for it. TJ Watt will be all over your ass. Both defenses are 21s. Over under 42. I like the game under. It's Lawrence against Pickett. But I'll tell you, watching Pickett last week pick apart the Rams, it wasn't a fluke that they won. They were the better team. TJ Watt got an interception down to the 5-yard line. They score. Pickett hit 3 back shoulder throws. I thought I was watching Stafford make that, not Pickett. Pickett looks like a real quarterback now. So I got an extremely live home dog in Pittsburgh here. I have the better team getting points. Thank you, God. So, yes. I am on Pitt. The Ram win was not a fluke. They'll be the better team here. Jacksonville should have trouble with this type of defense. This is not Indy and Houston they're playing here, or Buffalo, another weak defensive team. So look for Pitt, but getting 9 at home. Thank you. All right. Houston 43 against Carolina. Houston an under team. They give up 19 a game, so pretty good defense. Stroud throws for a lot of completions and yards, but not a lot of touchdowns. Carolina's a Z. Vince Young, absolutely horrible. They're the Z team. They give up 31 a game. So now look at the difference. Houston has Stroud. Carolina's got Young. Yet Houston's pretty competitive. They're 3-3. Granted, they beat Indy and Jacksonville or whoever they played. I think they even beat Baltimore. The great Lamar got shut out by Houston. And then you've got Carolina, who hasn't won a game. He probably won't, in the worst division in the league, and they can't beat Atlanta or Tampa and New Orleans. So a very bad Carolina team. There's Z. They give up 31. It's hard to take Stroud as a road favorite. It's very hard to bet road favorites because it's the NFL and all this scheming and all this going on. But I do like Houston. I don't like you. Houston's -3. Just looking at it, a 19 defense against the 31 defense, which means Young's going to struggle, and Stroud should be able to do stuff. I don't mind Houston. Over under a 43. But you got an under team in the Z. So I think it's an under. I just don't. It's hard because Carolina gives up 31. I think in theory the play should be Houston +3. Houston's clearly a much better team, but how strong is Houston? We'd have to look at their schedule, but I'm not touching this game with the 10-foot pole. I can't trust Houston as a road favorite. Sorry. Not with CJ Stroud. Philly and Washington, again, the Madoffs are a B team. They give up, the spread's 6.5, 44. Hurts against Howell. B team, Philadelphia. A W team, Washington. Philly gives up 20. Washington gives up 27. Doesn't score. Loss of the fucking Giants 14-7. How do you lose to the Giants 14-7? You scored 7 points on the Giants. And now here comes the Philadelphia Madoffs with all the Georgia talent. Yeah, I mean, that's why Philly's the free pick. Plus, they're the cheaters, so we're going to bet on the cheaters. I mean, you might as well you bet on the Corleones. You don't bet against them. So, again, the play that is not a football play, it's a rugby play, should be banned. Why don't we start having soccer plays in it where they can kick the ball around? Instead of doing the laterals at the end of the game, why don't they kick the ball to each other? That would be better. Either this is football or this is rugby. Make up your mind, boys. So I like Philly here. I mean, we know they're going to cheat, but we might as well bet on them. And if it gets close, it's 4th and 2. We'll get the first down. And it's Washington. They absolutely suck. Howell really Hurts is not good, but he's got the one play. So I like Philly even. LA, Dallas. Dallas 6.5, 46 at home. Stafford against Prescott. LA's an under team. Give up 20. Dallas is a B team, gives up 17. But you got Prescott against the good defense and Aaron Donald. Over under 46 in the game. You got a 20 defense and a 17 defense. My bet, if Dallas is watching the game film of the Pittsburgh game where they put a lot of pressure on Stafford and he caved, I would see Micah Parsons blitzing Stafford all day, and Stafford cannot handle a blitz. So I think Dallas wins, but I like it under 452. Just too much defense from Dallas, and Prescott will throw his 2 interceptions. Terrible coaching by Dallas. The Rams have a good coach, but they got Stafford. So, brotherly shove. No, it's the Madoffs. It's the Philadelphia Madoffs. New England, Miami. Miami 9.5, 45. New England's a W team. They give up 25. Miami's an over team. They give up 27. Jones against Tag. I'm waiting on my receivers. If my receivers play, this could be the easiest lock of the year. 39 in a Miami game. This is they're like Colorado, Miami, or USC. You know they're going to score 45 points. Let's say it's USC. They're going to score 45 a game, and they're going to give up 40. All right, that's just the standard USC game. And that's what you have here. They're going to score 40 against this defense, but, they're going to give up 25. And we only need 39. Oh, my God, what a low total. So don't know what they're seeing in this, but maybe they're looking at the injuries, but they're just questionable. So once we know they're starting, then we lay the smackdown on the over in this game. The Jets in New England. Jets are 3-37. The game's really at both teams' field, so it's not a road game. The Jets are, of course, an under. Zach Wilson struggles, but their defense is the best in the league. The Giants are a Z team, gives up 25. Look for Wilson to have a good day. Tyrod Taylor, probably. Again, Jones has a neck injury. And really the game it's a home field for both. So you got the Jets as a road favorite. You got the 37 you could go under 43 with. It's a little bit low, but I don't think the Giants will score anything. And the Jets with Zach Wilson will get 20. They'll win 20-0 or something like that. I got to put the scores in, don't I? I'll probably do that tomorrow or tonight when I'm home. But that's what I look at. So my question to myself is, do I play the Jets +3? Do I play them? Well, see, it's really not a road favorite, so I guess I could. They're really a home favorite. And the difference is, the defense comes to play, right? So the Jet defense is the best team on the field, followed by the Jets offense, followed by the Giants, whatever they got. So it should be definitely a low scoring game, but yeah, I wish the Giants were 3 points. They're at home. It says they're at New York. So gotta love the JETSs. Atlanta, Tennessee, both teams are under. Atlanta is now favored by 2, over under 30-6. Riddler against maybe Tannehill's questionable. Maybe that's why it's so low. So we got to wait on Tannehill. Atlanta always plays unders. So does Tennessee. Atlanta's got a 19 defense. Tennessee's a 20 defense. So if Tannehill plays, you've got to play Tennessee because there's no way, like we did with Love last week against Denver, there's no way Riddler's a road favorite. Okay? So you look at the quarterback, they cannot be favorites. They're terrible. Same thing with the Green Bay game. Green Bay was favored. I was going to lock Minnesota because there's no way Love can be a favorite. He can't beat anybody. More or less, he's got to beat him by 8, 9, 10 points. So there's no way Riddler can win this game by 8 points. So it's Tannehill. Yes, we take Tennessee. Tannehill, no, and it's Malik Willis. We bet under. Because with Jackie Robinson back and or Brooks Robinson back, and if you don't have Tannehill, they're going to just run the ball down their throat. This will be an Army-Navy type of game. Minnesota, Green Bay. Minnesota is now a 1.5-point favorite because they beat San Francisco Monday night. They're both under teams. Minnesota gives up 23, Green Bay 22. Cousins against Love. Love couldn't start in the Big Ten. Cousins didn't start in the Big Ten either. Well, he started from Michigan State, but that really doesn't count. Lousy quarterback. How they beat the Niners, I guess because Purdy got a concussion and threw 2 interceptions. And the fumbled. McCaffrey fumbled at the 5-yard line. So if he just doesn't fumble, they win the game. All we needed was even. That sounded like a fixed game the whole way. Frisco 6 and lose after a loss to Cleveland. Jesus. So I got I like Minnesota here. I can't play over. Now, if Aaron Jones plays, the running back who's been out the whole year with the hamstring, if he plays, I can then go over. If he doesn't play, then I think Minnesota at 4.5 is probably good. Cleveland, Seattle, very good game. Cleveland's playing better than I thought. PJ Walker against Geno Smith. Seattle 3.5, 38.5, another low number. Cleveland's an under team with a 19 defense who let up 38 points to Indy. I'll never figure that out. Seattle is a B team. They scored a lot. They got very balanced, good quarterback, good running back in Walker, great receivers, Metcalf and Lockett. The defense is getting better. A 3.5. I got Seattle 6. They're 3.5. A 19 defense and a 20 defense. I don't know. It's a 38.5. I almost got to go over. How can I not go over a 32 with Seattle's offense? Jesus Christ. I don't know where this is. I don't know how you bet under on this. In the 43, 44, I can see an under. 38, it's already teased down for us. Now we go over 32, really, with Seattle, who's scoring. Cleveland obviously couldn't shut down Indy what the fuck are they going to do to Seattle? I like the game over, even though I like the game under initially, but the line's so fucking low. I mean, this isn't Iowa, Wisconsin, and we make the over 28. I mean, this is fucking, Seattle's got a good fucking offense with good receivers and a good quarterback and Walker. I mean, they got balance. I'm sorry, they can run it down their throats, and Garrett won't be able to do anything because he's a pass rusher. So I don't know. Cleveland, they seem to be scoring. They'll score on Seattle. So I think this is over 32.5. If they want to give it to us, I'll take it. KC, Denver. KC's an A team. Denver's a W, getting better. Spread 7.5, 46. Denver, KC is a 15 defense. Denver, I figure, let's say 27, 28. Because the 70, you can't really, that was just rubbing it in. That was terrible. So let's say it was a 30-point game. Then the defense goes down to 27. They've been playing much better lately. So Denver's not a 32 defense. Asked Green Bay last week. It was 19-17. So they're getting better. This comes with the new coach, Sean Payton, getting used to his new coach and getting the players that they need that can run the system. You can't just come in. If you don't have the players, you can't just come in and change it. So Sean Payton this year is kind of like a waste because he's got to get the systems in and the players. Russell Wilson and the offense have been doing a good job, but it's the defense that's been hurting them. If anything, I would not look at Denver on the upset. However, I think Denver plus 13 is a good play. I also think KC minus 1.5. I think they win the game, and that leaves you with the KC 15 defense. Look what they did to San Diego last week. They just shut them out. You can do that to San Diego. You're going to do it to Denver. I just think KC's becoming a defensive team with Mahomes, which is incredible. Because they just let Tyreek Hill go, and they didn't really replace him. So 15-25. I think KC wins the game minus the 1. I also think it's probably an under. I don't know how much Denver's going to score. KC will score if needed. If they got a 10-point lead, they just run it, and then they just run the clock out. If you need points from KC, you're not going to get them. Like he slides at the 2-yard line and runs, and then takes 3 knees. So you're in trouble if you need points if KC's got the ball. And KC with this tough defense will be tough for Denver to score. So in the 20s, under 52, I like that. KC minus 1.5, maybe. I think it's good. The teaser in this game is good. Take KC down to 1, it's a W. Take Denver at 13, it's a W. Go under, it's a W. The only thing I might not do is over. Some games are like that. You just play a teaser in the fucking game and you win. Cincinnati and the Niners. The Niners 3.5, 44. The Niners are an A team. Cincy's an under team. Burrow, but you probably don't have Purdy. You probably have Arnold. And there's no way he's beating Burrow. So I got Cincinnati, an under team who gives up 21. So they got a really good defense. Frisco's got a 15 defense. There's a lot of 15 defenses this year. Last year, everything was 22, 23. Now you got some 15s and 16s, a 14. But I think Joe Burrow can handle it. I just don't think the Niners are not an A team with Darnold like they are with Purdy. And they've lost 2 in a row. So normally I'd be all over them after losing 2 in a row. They're going to come on, but I don't agree with that. I don't know if Cincy pulls the upset, but I do like Cincy and the points. As soon as I read that, I bet Cincy, and I got 9.5. I wish I'd have gotten the 12. I was thinking about taking them with 12 until I read, Frisco at home is 13-0 as a favorite. So I backed away from it. And then when I know Purdy's out, now I got Burrow getting 9.5. You know how I am anytime I get Burrow in points. So you got to go Cincinnati here. Over under, I don't know. Both have really good defenses. This will probably be 20-17 type of game. Baltimore, Arizona. Baltimore 8.5, 44. We got an A team in Baltimore, give up 14. We got a W with Arizona, which means they don't score a lot. They give up 26. So they no offense, no defense. Lamar against Dobbs. How is Dobbs in the league, please? Now, if Baltimore looks like they did against the Lions, but they've only looked like that. They've only looked like that against the Lions. Lamar didn't look like that against Cincinnati. He didn't look like that against Cleveland. He didn't look like that against Pittsburgh when they scored 10. He didn't look like that against Jacksonville when they lost. So will the real Lamar stand up? And it ain't the guy you saw against the Lions. That's when you play a very weak defense, who are hidden by playing weak teams. So you think they have a good defense. You met the real Detroit Lions last week. But since they play in the Mountain West, you don't really see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can trust Baltimore -2.5 here. They're at Arizona in the desert. Arizona they don't play great at home, but I don't know how strong Baltimore is on the road. And, okay, they got the 14 defense, 26. So I think Baltimore should cover your field goal. Not by much more, but let's go 24-17 here, maybe. Something like that. Yeah, let me write that down. 24-17. So Lamar will get you 24, throw 2 interceptions, and Arizona somehow gets 17, and they win by the 7. Yeah, I can see that happening. 44, yeah, probably go over just because Arizona's defense sucks. I could see that. Chicago Bears against San Diego. San Diego 8.5, 46. San Diego's the over team. They score and give up 26. The Bears are a W team. They don't score. They give up 27. They got the grocery store clerk going against Herbert. How if San Diego loses this game, they should go join the Pac-10 or the Mountain West. I mean, how can they not win this game? The Bears with their 20-some defense going against Herbert with the grocery store clerk as the quarterback. I really don't understand it. Now, I wish they had Fields because this would be a great over. But you've got to adjust to the grocery store clerk quarterbacking. So you don't know what you're getting here. You're gonna get a bag of Lucky Charms. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like you tease Baltimore to 2.5 and San Diego to 2.5, and go count your money. I mean, how these two can lose, and yet that's what I've been playing the whole year, and I've been losing with this shit. Well, not every week, just last week. Losing with Buffalo, San Francisco, even. I mean, it's insane what I lost with last week. But I don't really know. You don't bet Buffalo a lot, or Baltimore, but how? And I don't care about Lamar. I'm betting the defense of a 14. San Diego, I'm really betting against the Chicago defense. The grocery clerk can't play defense and offense. Yeah, he's playing safety and quarterback, the grocery clerk. And then he's going to go back to work and bag groceries after the game. See, how do you bet over with the grocery clerk? And then so you got to take San Diego in 2.5, even though they always play, the dog always wins. And last but not least, the winners of the MAC Conference, Detroit against the Oakland Raiders and John Madden. We got the Raiders are a W, give up 23. Detroit's an E, gives up 22. The Lions, Detroit 8.5, 45. You got Hoyer against Goff. More than likely, Hoyer. Galapagos hurt his back. He's probably out. Goff, I don't know. Max Crosby's playing. He'll probably get 3 sacks. Goff will throw his couple of interceptions. Detroit will probably look really good because they're playing. They're playing a Sun Belt team in the Raiders here. A W with a 23. Yeah, if Crosby plays, yeah, he'll be all over Detroit. He'll be all over Goff. That will be problems for him. 8.5. Detroit can't beat anybody by 8.5. They can win a game by 10 points, not when they're favored by 8.5. The games they win, the Carolina, the Atlanta, the Tampa, they were 3-point favorites or dogs or whatever. But when you start becoming an 8 and 10-point favorite, it's not the same mentality. Now you start, you know, like, wow, we're 8.5 points. We're supposed to win the games. That's when Vegas calls you, okay, you guys can win, but only by 7. You cannot win by 8.5, right? You can't win by more than 8. We'll let you win by 7, but no more. Click. That's when they start visiting you, when it starts getting these high numbers. So that's why I struggle with the 8.5s, because you know they can't win by more than 7. So, but at 2.5, Vegas hasn't caught on to the teasers guys yet. So I think we're okay. Would I take Detroit minus 2.5? You'd really have to put a gun to my head for me to bet Detroit is a 8.5-point favorite. 2.5-point favorite, maybe you can get away with it. Over under a 45. Over under a 45. You don't know which Detroit team comes out on the field. You know, they play Tampa 20-6 and Carolina low scoring, Atlanta low scoring. Then they play Seattle high scoring. Last week, somehow we won the under of 49, even though Baltimore scored every time they had the ball. And I love Detroit radio. Well, let's just throw the game away. It was a week, you know, it was just one of those days. So it doesn't count. And even Dan Campbell is like, well, it really doesn't. It didn't. It was just one of those days. We watched Lamar run around. I mean, coach, you're not supposed to say that. You can't say it's one of those days when you play a good team and you get your ass kicked. You got problems in your secondary. You got problems rushing the passer. Lamar had 20 seconds to throw the ball last week. At least, I mean, he had all day to throw the ball. I mean, it was a joke. And then when he did throw it, nobody was covering anybody. I mean, what the fuck? You know, this is your secondary. They can't cover Baltimore's receivers, who are terrible. Not that Oakland's are any bad. Devontae Adams should light them up. And then you got Hoyer. God. What are you thinking with Garoppolo, Hoyer, and O'Connell? When you got Penix, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Gabriel, the guy from Tulane, my man Van Dyke and Hartman and Rising. What the fuck are you dealing? You're dealing with Hoyer and Goff. What, are you kidding? I did watch the Miami game, the 20-minute one on YouTube. Van Dyke did not play in the game, and they beat Clemson, and they ran it down their throats. They had this long run. They'd handed it up the middle. The guy would go for a touchdown, which makes you struggle to understand what they've been doing against Georgia Tech. And don't forget you have Van Dyke, which the guy obviously doesn't know what he's doing. So it went to overtime, and then they won 28-20, I believe. The offensive coordinator is terrible in Miami. Anyway, and so is the Notre Dame offense. You got Hartman, What the fuck are you doing, money? How are you playing Ohio State 17-14 with Hartman? Hartman's worth 28 points on his own. All right, so that's the pros. Your free pick, take Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Madoffs, and the Cincinnati. We're going to add that. Now, if Purdy plays, we don't add it. It's only with Purdy because you're only getting 9.5. Now, if we go back to the 6 and we get 12, okay. So wait a day on this Cincinnati free pick. Philly ain't going anywhere. 6.5. You'll be able to get 6.5 tomorrow. I would say by tomorrow we would know if Purdy's playing. He probably isn't because they got to go through the whatchamacallit protocol, concussion protocol. So more than likely he won't. It takes a week past. So figure Purdy's out, which we should probably know tomorrow. And then it's Cincinnati getting 9.5 with Burrow against Darnold. Yeah, I'll take that all day. So that's our free plays. We got USC as a free play. I'm loaded with locks in college. God, it's like a joke this week. 1, 2, 3, 4 locks, of which one I love so much I'm locking it 2 or 3 times. God, I love this one lock so much. Oh my God. I mean, if this doesn't win as a lock, I probably should move to Russia and get beheaded by Putin. Well, we'd talk gold first, of course. If I met Putin, he'd probably go, "Oh, yeah, Professor, I've been watching your show. I've been buying gold on your say. We got mountains of it in my basement." All right, so that's your pros. Tonight, yeah, I don't know that Buffalo can win by 3.5. It's such a bad number. They lost to New England 29-25. You gave up 29 points to Mac Jones. It's insane. So don't jump on Buffalo. Yeah, they're off of a loss. I get it. Tampa, they're not. Mayfield, the defense is okay. They're a 17 defense, but it's against Carolina and Atlanta and Detroit. So it's not like they're playing really, Pac-10 schools. But Buffalo doesn't seem to be a whole lot better. So, again, you've got to really figure the team out this year. You can't look at Josh Allen from 2 years ago. Oh, they're so explosive. It ain't the same team. They're losing to fucking New England. They're putting up a whole 15 on the Giants. What was that? 6-0 at half score. What was that against the Giants? And now the Giants beat Washington 14-7. I might lock the fucking under in the Jets game. It's 37, but if the Giants are going to play like this, we know what the Jets are going to do. We know the Giants aren't scoring 10 points in the game. So we might lock the under. Jesus. The light's coming on finally for me, right? I can now see clearly who these teams are, what they are, and what to do with them. And that's always the thing in the beginning. You look at the draft. Oh, it's Vince Young and it's what's a C.J. Stroud and Richardson, and you're going, these guys suck. Stroud's okay, but he doesn't throw touchdowns. He gets yards. Fields still sucks. Then you got Josh. You got Dobbs who sucked in the playoff game. He sucked for the Steelers. All of a sudden, he looks good. Lamar, we know, sucks. We know Purdy's good. Mahomes and Wilson, we know, are good. We're sitting there with P.J. Walker on Cleveland. Smith looks good. Love, absolutely horrible. Cousins loses Jefferson, and he plays the best game of his career last week. Riddler sucks against Tannehill if he's healthy, so we got to watch that one. Tyrod Taylor's in for Daniel Jones, and he's 20 times better. If you had Taylor, what are you doing with Jones? And you're giving Jones this big contract. Why don't you sign Taylor and get rid of Jones? against Zach Wilson, who, okay, it should be Rodgers. We got Tag against Mac Jones. Mac Jones sucks. Prescott against Stanford. Prescott sucks. Stafford's okay. Howell, what is Howell doing in the league? Thurston Howell the third from Gilligan's Island against Hurts in the Madoff team. Young against Stroud. Both suck. Stroud's maybe a little bit better. Carolina's won't win a game. Then you got Pickett, who looks a lot better, and Lawrence, who wants to keep running. You got Minshew, who looks good against Carr, who's not bad. He's got Kamara on that. And today, Allen and Mayfield. I would have Trask out there. And then if I was half this teams, I would be trading for Trask and Greer from West Virginia, who's on Dallas, who's 10 times better than most of these guys I just mentioned. So I really don't understand the owners and coaching staff. I don't know what they're doing. Why is Thurston Howell III playing in the NFL? Why is Mac Jones still starting? I almost like Tyrod Taylor. What is Riddler doing out there? What is Josh Love doing out there? You've had him for 3 years. Now you're just seeing what he can do, and you see he sucks. I told you that 3 years ago because he sucked at Utah State. So this guy has a good junior year. His senior year, he sucks. You draft him in the first round based on what? So if you're going to do that, you need to hire the offensive coordinator who was Utah State's coach his junior year. Then you can do it. Otherwise, you're never going to win. So that is week 8. We talked college yesterday. We'll talk it tomorrow. Again, your games today is Virginia Tech 347 against Syracuse, and Georgia Southern 1.5 63 to Georgia State. So let's take a look at the Georgia game. Let's dig inside. So Georgia State, 62.5. Georgia State, okay, throughout the Rhode Island game, beat UConn 35-14. Then they played Charlton, doesn't count. Coastal Carolina, they beat 30-17. Then lost to Troy 28-7. And then they beat Marshall 41-24. And then they beat my Lou Lafayette team 20-17. As a dog, they beat Marshall, got killed by Troy, beat Charlton. Oh, no, they were favored. All right, let's read this again. They were a dog to Lou Lafayette and won. They were favored to Marshall. They were favored against Troy. They were a dog to Coastal Carolina and won. And then they were favored against the mighty Rhode Island, and they were only 5 points over Charlton. Jesus Christ. You're playing Rhode Island and Charlton, really. So, okay, give them the Troy game 28-7. The rest, pretty good. So like I say, the defense is pretty good. They gave up 35 to Rhode Island, but otherwise 25 to Charlton. So against the bad teams, they gave up the points. 28 to Troy, 24 to Marshall. Let's go to Georgia Southern. So Georgia Southern is a big favorite, beat Lou Monroe 38-28 last week. They got killed by James Madison as a dog. As a favorite, beat Coastal by 10, Coastal Carolina. As a favorite, they killed Ball State. As a big dog, they lost to Wisconsin 35-14. They beat UAB 49-35. And Sitta, who the hell is Sitta? 34-0. So that's a high school team. So Let's look at the Wisconsin game. They lost 35-14. Scoring 14 on Wisconsin's pretty good. Ball State, they beat 40-3. Coastal 38-28, and then lost to James Madison, and then beat Lou Monroe. I don't know. I think Georgia State could be a live dog here. I wouldn't bet it. They gave up 23-24, over 63. I probably should adjust. Let me take out the high school games and see what we got. Georgia Southern give up 35 to UAB, 35 to Wisconsin, then a 28, a 41, and 28, 70, 30, 100, 170 divided by 6 is. So they give up 25 a game. And that's where we got them. We got them right at 24. So that really isn't a problem. So that's probably inaccurate, even throwing out the 34-0 against City. I guess City Group. They're playing a bank, and then Georgia State. Throw out Rhode Island, throw out Charlton. So against 14 against Conn, 17 against Coastal, 28 against Troy, 24 and 17. So let's say they're about a 20. Georgia State. Yeah, so I wouldn't go over here. So it's like a 25-21. Yeah, I don't know. I'd go over. I don't know if this is going to be a high-scoring game. They really haven't shown it. I mean, Georgia State beat Lou Lafayette 20-17. They lost to Troy 28-7. They beat Coastal Carolina. So they're not scoring 60 points at all. I don't know why this line's so high. I think it's an under game, but I'm not betting it under. But they both have fairly decent defenses. Let's go to Syracuse VTech. Syracuse has let us down. We thought they were good because they beat Colgate 65-0 and Western 48-7, who's a W team. And then they beat Purdue 35-20. So they actually beat a real team 35-20. They beat my Army team 29-16. Then Clemson beats them 31-14. North Carolina 40-7. Florida State 41-3. So as soon as they play the real teams, the NFL teams, they get killed. So I'm not big. Syracuse has VTech, so I have no love for Syracuse. Although that Colgate win is pretty impressive, 65-0. And then we got VTech. VTech, 36-17 to Old D. They lose to Purdue. They lose to Rutgers. They lose to Marshall. They finally beat Pitt 38-21, get killed by Florida State, and then beat Wake. They haven't played any high school teams. Give them credit for that. The last 3 games, 38, 17, and 30 points. So that's about a 25. And they gave up 21, 39, and 13. 24, 35, 24. So except for Wake, they've been in the upper 20. I think Syracuse is a live dog here. Let's put Syracuse down. We're probably over 41. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold's saying so. That's how I view that. So that's really what you're looking for is you're kind of diving into the overall, the macro look. So macro is the overall look. I always try to throw economics in anytime I can. That's the whole picture. The micro is what I just did. I dug into the team to see how they are against certain teams. And as you saw with Syracuse, as soon as they played good teams, Clemson, North Carolina, and Florida State, they didn't show up. They got buried like 40-7 and 50-3 and everything. So until they win those games, they're not an A team. That's where I struggle. the stats might show they're an A team, but when you look at it, they are not even. They're probably a W team because when if they play a good team, they're getting killed. If they play a weaker team, they can stay in there. So against Virginia Tech, I think they'll stay in there. But if this was, Florida State again or Miami, they'd get killed. Greg John, Bobby, the sweetest swing in baseball. You didn't see my swing, Greg John, then you wouldn't be saying that. Greg John, we got the Barry card. We couldn't find. Bobby wasn't in this set. He only missed by about 300 home runs of being in this set. This is the prettiest set I've seen, and it's numbered out of 100. So this is a 100 count. See, this now it's limited. This is like how gold is, right? You can only print 100. So you can't print. But if you notice, it's red. The regular card in the deck is black. So they made a black card. Then they did the same card and they put the red label on it. So they put it in red, they really called it gold label. So it's really this red sticker and then it's numbered. The rest of them are black. So if you ever are looking, look for the red. So I got some. I got a Frank Thomas, a Ken Griffey, and then Barry. That's how I collected baseball. It was McGuire, Bonds, steroids. They steroided me. Griffey, Frank Thomas, Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken. I mean, that was all there was in the 90s and 2000s. That's all you could collect. Those were the only stars in the games. Unlike football, where I could go after Montana, Marino, Rice, Emmett, Barry, now prime time. So there was a good 10, you still had your 80, you still had your Montana and Rice, and then you got Barry and Emmett you could pick up, although I always hated Aikman. I always thought it was Emmett that made the team and Jimmy. I do have a Jimmy card of him coaching, but it's not worth anything. One card that I have of a coach is worth a lot is the actual Belichick card. I better hurry up and sell it before it's worthless. The way that guy's coaching, I don't think anybody's going to want him. But he's in the Cleveland Browns. This is the 81 Pro set. And he's just, got a coat on the sideline. And it's like a 10 is like $1,000. And I got two of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this card worth anything? Well, it won't be worth much soon, that's for sure. But anyway, so what I would do is I would go after these red cards. And they were in all sports. So I'd get the Gretzky and the Lemieux. And then I would go get the football, the Barry and Emmett and Montana. I don't think there was a Montana, but the Rice, the Barry, the Emmett, and stuff like that. So that's how I collected. But it was easier going after the 60 cards. So what I did was I went after the Packers in the 60s, and I went after the Steelers of the 70s. I picked up a Staubach. I picked up a Stabler. I think I got a Bolitnikoff. And then I went back to the 60s, and the baseball 60s, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Pete Rose, Bob Gibson, K-Line, Clemente, Pete Rose. It just went right down. There was 10, 12 guys you could collect that would give you big money that were dirt cheap, right? I think I picked up my Willie Mays 68 tops for $25-$30. And we just saw it worth, if it's a 10, like 75,000. However, I don't know if it's a 10 or not, but if it is a 10, it's funny how you got to get a 10 for 75,000, but if you get a 9, it's only worth 10,000. Like, wait a minute, why would a 9 be so much cheaper than a 10? Well, let's go to economics, because there's a lot less 10s than 9s. So if there's 1,000 cards, they probably graded 25 10s, and then 500 of them were 9s. So there's more supply of the 9s. And if more people wanted the 10s and not as many wanted the 9s, then there's not as much demand. Therefore, the price is down. Pure Austrian economics. So when you get things that are limited and the demand for them, the price goes up. There's not as much a demand for the 9s as the 10s, because the 10s, there's very few, so it makes it limited, like gold. So that's what we have, and that's what we're. But it all comes back to economics, and that's what we're going to have with gold. There's going to be this huge demand for the gold, not as much for the silver, but still, and then nothing for the. This is like the the Eddie Brinkman card. This is what this will be worth $10, and the gold will be like the Bobby Bow card, which will be worth $1 million. That's why I'm saying, you're getting skewed by this $2,000 gold price. It is nowhere near where it is. Now, maybe I have the insight because I collect cards and I do football and I understand fixes a lot better than these guys do. You think Alligator understands a fix, and you think he's sitting there with a baseball card collection and understands supply and demand? I doubt it. So these guys see the $2,000, and this is why I turn off Maloney and Rick Rude and these guys, because they don't understand that it's even paper priced. I mean, it just, what the fuck are you guys even doing on here if you don't understand the paper price? Now, Rick Rude's trying to fuck everybody because he's selling the ETFs, which are not real gold. So what the fuck are you doing? You're Madoff. You're selling something that's not really gold, and you're saying it's gold. You're no better. You're worse than Madoff, because Madoff didn't say what it was. You're actually saying it's a gold ETF, but you're lying. There's no gold attached to it at all. So that's what I don't understand. So I realize when I see, and I point out the Montana rookie for 125. What the fuck do you think gold's going to be at once it gets going to free market? Once COMEX gets blown up, and it's getting blown up, and you got all this gold, and you want the gold price to go up, that's what you do. So once you see that, why would gold only be 2,000 and Montana's rookie card being 125? Does that make any sense to anybody? See, that's how I judge it. Just like when I'm analyzing football, when I'm judging it. So looking at it like that, it's a totally different thing. So I shared with you Egon the last day or two, so I don't think we'll go back there. We get Mark McGuire tomorrow, but he'll have a guest, so I don't know if it'll be worth. He'll ask the guest, should I buy gold? I don't know. I'm too stupid to buy gold on my own. I have to ask you, even though you don't have a gold background, or that idiot selling paper gold. Well, I'm going to sell 1/64 ounce of gold. Dude, it ain't going to be 2,000 an ounce. What the fuck are you talking about? These guys cannot think. They cannot critically think close to what I can do. That's what's amazing about it, is how stupid they are. Oh, I went to the Sheraton yesterday. There's a Sheraton by me, to see if I could do a lecture on this. I mean, I do it here, but I kind of want to do it live and get a class, and then I can be the class there and the class here, because not everybody knows about me here, but they do there. So that's really I'm going to try to do that with my free time, which is, I don't have any free time. I wake up, I got an hour, and then it's the pool, and then it's here, and then cook dinner, and I got hamburgers to make, and I don't know when I'm going to make them, because I'm so exhausted after class that I don't know when I'm going to do it. Anyway, so what I'm trying to feed you is how to do this, what to look for. We see Brock Purdy out. Now here comes Darnold playing Cincinnati with pretty good fucking defense. They beat Seattle, and it was a low-scoring game. So they're a live dog, Cincinnati, with Joe Burrow. They have to win. They've been playing better. They had a bye last week, so look at them to really be sharp this week. Um, so really, you're looking for the key variables, the injuries in football, the gold you're looking for, the suppressant, and then going, it's not going to last. I think this war with Israel is strictly bullshit as far as from the standpoint, it's to get your mind off of Russia and Ukraine. I think that's all it is I think they want to end the Ukraine war because it's been between the U.S. and it's the U.S. versus Russia, basically. And we're using the Ukraine players to get killed so we don't get killed. And it's a joke. I mean, Russia's up 72-0. It's not even close. Russia's already won the game. They're taking knees. They're in the victory formation. That's where that is at. So how does the U.S. pull out without looking like idiots? Because they're the ones who started the war. They're the only ones who can end the war. And so they go create this Israeli war. Everybody's looking at that. Everybody keep your eye on that. And you do that. And so while you do that, we end the Russian-Ukraine war. We just blame it on, well, the Ukrainians really, they're like thinking of a exit strategy. How do we exit this? What do we do? So that's what they're doing. Bobby didn't choke under pressure. Nobody said you did, Bobby. But like I said, you haven't seen my swing, so don't go there quite yet. So I think that's what they're doing is this is how we end the Russian-U.S. war is by starting an Israeli one against the Hamas. Yeah, that's all they want is a war, right? Israeli doesn't want a war. Hamas attacked them strictly to get your mind off of Russia and Ukraine. So now I got Daria's on an assignment to find out what gold the banks will do. So I sent this picture to Daria yesterday. I sent this picture going, what will Russia take? So you got the eagle, you got the cougar in, and you got the maple leaf. And I said, I'll give you what you can spend in Russia, but I don't want to give you U.S. if they won't take U.S. gold. And if they won't, they probably won't take maple leaves. So I'll probably have to give you cougar ants. So that is the mission that Daria is on for us, is to understand what we can do where we go. Switzerland, we can probably use the U.S. or the Canadian. Yeah, of course, the cougar ant probably anywhere. But since the cougar ant's part of BRICS now, we should be okay in Russia with it, right? That would be my guess as my out in Russia. You know, here's an ounce, Daria. Go get $100,000 worth of ruble backed by gold ruble dollars. See, this is we need an exit strategy, right? So the Montana card's worth 1.25. We don't think gold's going to go that high, really? I think we will, and then we don't want this. So we don't want to sell our. Let's say it's 100,000 for our ounce of gold, or in your case, Bobby, for your ounce of silver divided by 10 will be 10,000 an ounce. So Bobby's got a 10,000 an ounce silver ounce. But he doesn't want this because this is worthless. This is toilet paper. This is not worth anything. So what does Bobby do? He now does Bobby need to cash it in? Good question. That's why I'm keeping money on the side and I'm not buying all gold and leaving $0 because I do need dollars in the interim. Like when I'm on vacation or help the girls, I don't get enough money from Social Security. So I got to go into the safe, which is fine. I'm prepared for it. But I don't want to start touching my gold at these prices. So when we do sell, so Bobby sells it, he doesn't want this. He wants to go and give Daria 10 ounces of silver and get $100,000 worth of gold-backed rubles. That's what Bobby wants. If this is gold back, so we'll pretend that this is like gold back. We'll pretend this is gold back. This piece here. So Bobby wants this. He wants the gold back ruble for his silver and gold that he's got when he sells it, because he doesn't want the bullshit dollars. Because if he sells his $50,000 or $10,000 ounce of silver, he doesn't want this. This is worthless. He's getting zero for his $10,000 an ounce silver. Bobby wants this gold and or silver backed ruble. Now this says euro, but let's change it. We can write ruble on it. It won't matter. This isn't worth anything either. So he will then get gold back ruble is our goal. So we'll send Daria to the bank and give her some gold and silver. She can go cash it in for rubles, and then we'll have to fly out and meet her in Turkey and pick up our gold back ruble money. And then we can laugh all the way to the bank on, we got gold back currency. You don't. You got CBDC paper crap that's worthless. And we got gold back currency. So that's the intent. When you sell it, you want the gold back currency. Maybe the gold back bricks or the gold back ruble. As long as it's gold back, we're happy campers. We don't want is the U.S. bullshit paper that's worthless. That's the only thing we don't want. Don't give me that back. Give me the gold back ruble. So with Daria there, I'm setting us up, Bobby. We're going to be set up with our little agent in Russia. We'll pay her 10%, make it worth her while. So that's our goal of how to sell it. 125,000 Montana card, and you think gold's okay at 2,000. Yeah, let's explain economics to you again, but that's what it is. Now in this bonds card, or just the whole red label, there's also a 50 count. So it says something out of 50 and something out of 25. I have an Iserman 1 of 1, which I've showed you before. It's 1 of 1. They've only made one and I have it. Talk about fucking limited, right? So I want to sell that for gold. So that's why I'm holding it. But this is 100 counts, and then it's 50 and then 25. So this makes this worth a little less because I can get the one they only made 25 of versus this one they made 100. But 100 still very limited. Beautiful card. It's a shame you're not in this set, Bobby. That would have been a good card to get. But that's what you're trying to do. But again, understand price fixing. That's what's happening. These people are still so stupid. Well, money printing, that's inflation, you morons. Then I heard price inflation today. I almost all off my couch. What the fuck is price? I said, what the fuck is price inflation? I'll show you. If I can remember which video I saw. Maybe it was Zigan.
Gold. That's why you should hold it. On that topic.
No, I didn't leave it here because comments are turned off. What did there was something I saw. Mm.
And now there's another stimulus. This time it's a stimulus program for Americans under. And I don't care how much.
Yeah, so I was watching this one, Tucker Carlson, and I don't really like him. So here's my note. So what it says is he starts talking about food inflation and the price of food going up. And I go, what's food inflation? There's no such thing. Only paper money can be inflated. And I threw in your shake my head, Bobby, just for you. Tucker is saying what millions of Americans think and feel, and it's time we take our country back. Yeah, that your country's, you got to speak Chinese now to take your country back. Anyway. So again, people not understanding that inflation's printing the money and the effect is rising prices. They think the inflation is the prices. Oh, look, the prices are going up. I was thinking about that today. How much it's costing at the grocery store and then trying to explain, but it's not prices going up. It's the dollar dropping in price. How many people understand that little thing besides our class here? So it's not prices going up, just like gold. It isn't gold going up, it's the dollar going down. Take it to the market. It's not Oreos raising their price, it's the dollars going down. So they need to raise the price to get the same value because they're getting paid in inflated dollars, which is what we talked about yesterday on Bobby's contract. You're getting paid in cheaper dollars. Basically, the dollar's losing value. That's how you have to look at it. So when you go to the grocery store, your dollar's not buying what it should. It's buying far less. Hence, the reason for the gold and silver. It won't go down in value, and it is money, and therefore it should go up because the dollar's going out, but it'll also go up because the demand, which is the part that these guys don't seem to get, is that demand, because of the low price, will skyrocket the price to a real gold price, which is not just the dollar going down, but the gold going up. They seem to think it's just the dollar going down raises gold, but it's not doing it. Why isn't gold going up when the dollar's going down, alligator? So he's not understanding that. It's the gold price suppressed because of price fixing. Once that blows up, then the price hits its regular price. Then it really shoots up. And that's what we're waiting for. But that's the thing. So the dollar does not go up. The food prices aren't going up. It's the dollar losing value. So once people recognize it's the dollar losing value, that's when the whole thing blows up. That's when the market crashes, and that's when gold goes to the moon. And in the meantime, it's slowly going to the moon. But I'm expecting a lot more, but that we might have to wait till January. But gold throughout the world prices skyrocketed. But because it's priced in dollars and we're suppressing, you're not seeing what everybody else is seeing. So you still can buy it cheap because thanks to JP Morgan trying to hold on to the dollar's okay, don't worry. Even though we all know it's dead. But they don't want to admit it because then then they screwed it up. They don't want to say they screwed it up. So that's what's happening. Bobby didn't choke under pressure. Yeah, but your LSU team is choking under pressure. When does LSU play Bama? Let's see you not choking that one. You have no defense. You can't beat Milrose. And Alabama's got their normal defense once the second half starts. So what else? So that's pretty much college. I'm not going to go into college today. We went through it pretty thoroughly yesterday. So if you are looking, watch yesterday's video. However, I did give you today's games. Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Georgia State, Georgia. We'll talk Florida Atlantic Coast, Charlton tomorrow, or Charlotte tomorrow. I wonder if they named it after Charlotte Flair. Do you think that's how they came up with the name for Charlotte? Interesting game there. But keep an eye on the injuries and on the college injuries. We know McCall's out for Coastal Carolina. Colorado State has some running back issues, but we don't know if they're starters or not. We know the Texas quarterback's out, Ewers. We know Van Dyke is playing. He missed last week, but he's already probable, so we assume him. It's funny, they ran the ball down Clemson's throats last week, and it worked. So we'll see. But if the quarterback's out, the game should go under. So if it is Darnell going against Burrow, look for more of an under game. What's that? What's that over under? 44. So it has gone down to 44. Cincinnati that's two good defenses. So it could be a 50, under a 50 could hold, especially with Darnell against Burrow. Although I don't know if you can run or pass against the Niners. Well, I guess whatever Minnesota did. What else? Get your money out of the system as soon as possible. Get it out of the banks. Get it out of the stocks. You're much better off having 100,000 in your safe at home, whereas Bobby has it under his mattress, than you are having it in the bank and losing it, right? What's your risk? There's none. You're not getting interest. How much interest are you getting on $100,000? What, 4%? Well, that's $400. How much are you losing in inflation on your money? 20%. So you're losing. Let's say you're getting 5% interest, and then inflation is 20%. You're losing 15% on your money having it in the bank. You must understand that your dollar is losing value. This is all that your dollar's worth. You must understand that concept. The dollar is losing value quickly. That's what you must understand. Then it doesn't matter if you go into gold or silver. There's no risk. You can't lose. You can only lose holding this, because this is going to zero. So $100,000 of this going to zero is zero. Or as I like to say about Warren Buffett, his $2 billion is going to be worth zero. And he's so smart, he won't understand it. That's what you must realize. So there's no risk. So you pull this out of the bank, put it in your safe. You're still losing money on it. You still have a risk that this is being inflated as the whole world's being inflated. Also because of this $35 trillion debt and the $90 trillion coming back in from other countries, blowing up banks, the housing, and the stocks. So keep that in mind, that you just want to watch your money go to zero. Oh, you don't believe me that inflation does that. Or you don't believe inflation. You think it's really at 2 or 3%, because the people that told us we went to the moon are lying to us again. Or the people that say 9/11 was real are lying to us again. It was real in the sense that they detonated the buildings, but it wasn't real in the sense that it actually happened that way. And the F-18s just happened to be on break when both buildings collapsed, and nobody hit building 7, but it still collapsed. I wonder what was in building 7 that they collapsed it. So keep that in mind. That's really what's happening. The dollar is losing value. It's going to zero. It's not my opinion. It's not maybe. Take that out of it. This is what is happening. That's why I show you Mark McGuire and Alligator and Egon, because what did Egon just say? Nobody wants the dollar. It's not worth anything. He did say hell, which I was happy about, but he says nobody wants it. It doesn't have a value. It's worthless. So I say it, but Egon says it, and Alligator says it, and I do that because just in case you don't fully believe me, you got to believe them. If 3 different people are telling you the same answer, I know I'm right. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to zero and gold's going through the roof. That's not an opinion. That's absolute certainty. That's 100% certainty, because that's the only thing as we blow up COMEX. And if gold goes to its real value, which is more than the Montana rookie card at 125, you can just understand, let it go to its free value. Now, will it be able to go to its free value, or will it always be contained? I think here it'll go to its free value because people will panic. Everybody's going to run to the ships to save them, versus staying on the Titanic, right? So people will go to the little ships. I can't believe I'm missing the word for it. The safety rafts or whatever. So people will go into that. People will go into gold in a panic, just like they got into the safety boats in a panic. And that's what happens. And again, me and Bobby, once we hit the iceberg, we're in the boat. Okay, you can lower us. We're going. We got our gold and silver. Lower us into the water because we know you're about to sink. Again, it's nice knowing, and it's nice being ahead of the curve. So what you need to do is understand. You need to ask questions if you don't, or email me. That's the most important thing. And then from there, you need to buy as much gold and silver and get out of the dollar as you can, because when it's collapsing, all that's collapsing is the dollar. This is what's collapsing. I'm so excited I got a euro. Both are collapsing. They're both going to zero. All of this, or if we had yen or Swiss francs or British pounds, this is all going to zero. It's the bye-bye blues, right? These are going to zero. We know that. So that's the market that's collapsing. So that market's collapsing. Not necessarily the global economy, just the economy in dollars is collapsing. But if you don't have dollars, your economy is not collapsing. If you have gold and silver, your economy is not collapsing. I should probably buy more silver because it's cheap, and I know I got to help the girls out, and I got 2 vacations coming up that I got to go into my safe to pay for. I'll put it on the credit cards, but I'll have to pay a little bit. So I know that's coming. So probably buy another 50, 60 ounces of silver just for you, Bobby. So you'll understand. And that's what it is. So this is going to zero. This is what's collapsing, right? Not necessarily the economy. However, the economy in dollars is collapsing. The economy in euro is collapsing, not necessarily the economy. If we put it in gold, the economy's fine. So as the dollar goes to zero, the dollar-based economy goes to zero. But there's this whole economy in gold and silver that's going through the roof, not going to zero. And that's what we wanted. So think about it. We're getting into that economy is what we were trying to do. We're getting out of the dollar economy, out of this universe. We're going into this parallel universe that everybody's got gold. and we're going into the gold universe. So think about it like that. That's what we're trying to do. That's why when I'm asked, how much do I need? It's as much as you can get, because when it hits, silver's $25, $26 an ounce. When silver goes through the roof, you're not going to be able to find it. So do you have enough? Well, it's all you can eat at 25, because it's going to be worth $2,000-$3,000 an ounce. So therefore, you probably want, even though you probably, like I have 600 ounces, so I'm probably like, oh, I got enough. But in reality, it's the sale of the century. It's a $25 item I can get. It's a $2,000 item I can get for $25. Is it? Do I ever have enough? How do you have enough if you have money and it's 2,000, you can get it for 25? How do you have enough of it? There is no enough. I got money, I can buy more, I'm buying more. It's a no fucking brainer. It's like betting on Frisco because Brock Purdy's out, you got Joe Burrow. Well, how much is enough? It's just bet it. I mean, Jesus. Hey, is that all you want? You just want to use me for my free play, G? I understand. I'm a little hurt from that, but I understand. The free play I told you is Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Madoffs, and the USC over. That's your free play. I added one, but because you talk to me like this, I'm gonna make you watch the video to find it. It's in there. I gave another game, but I'm gonna make you watch it to find it. You think you can just come and ask me, and I'm just gonna give it to you without making you do some work. So it's not bad. I just did pros today. So when I start going game by game, you'll hear it. But it's Philadelphia and USC over. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're open-minded and intelligent enough to understand it. But really, that's all it is. We're going into a different. We're going into a different financial universe. We're leaving this universe, the paper universe. This is collapsing. This is going to zero. However, if you have gold and silver, that's the universe we're going to. And the Russians are ahead of the curve by having a ruble backed by gold currency and silver, until the BRICS will then come out with the gold and silver backed currency. And that's all she wrote. The U.S. What did I call it? The U.S. universe goes to zero, because everybody wants to go into the gold universe. So think you're at Disneyland and you can ride Space Mountain. Well, everybody runs to that ride, and they get away from the little submarine ride, right? So there's the 1960s submarine ride, and then here's Space Mountain. Well, everybody runs to Space Mountain, and that's what's happening. So who wants to be in this universe when we can be in the gold and silver universe? And it's a lot prettier. You can't print it to nothing. You can't print it at all. It can't lose its value. Just like this card. This card, they've only made 100 of them. They can't go print more. They've only made 100's all they can make. Or if there's a 50 or a 25 count. So they can only make 100. They can't inflate it to lose its value. However, since he did steroids, unlike Bobby, the value dropped. But I have like Cal Ripken and Griffey and Frank Thomas in it, and Barry Sanders and other who are in the red label. These are safe cards. That's where I pull them from. But that's what's happening. So keep that in mind. We're going to a different universe, one with gold and silver, and getting away from the paper crap. So the people in charge of the paper crap will not be in charge of the gold universe. They've decided to not get involved in the gold universe. So they're going to all retire, and our new our new owners of our environment or of our universe is going to be a guy named Putin and a guy named Xi. So it's all going to be Chinese and Russia is the universe we're going to be in. And everybody will have gold and silver, nice and shiny. And that's where we're headed. And that's what's going on. As Egon said in the video, that he thinks that gold and silver will be the reserve currency. I don't know that you need a reserve currency. You really just need a currency that everybody understands and one that doesn't get printed. How is the US dollar a reserve currency when you print 10 trillion of them or 20 trillion of them? What kind of reserve currency is that? I mean, these people don't know what they're doing. You raise the price of the gold, you don't print more currency. What they're trying to do is print more of these, but you lose the value of it. What you should do is back it by gold, and then you just raise the price of gold. And you keep raising the price of gold. What the fuck's wrong with that? I don't understand how stupid these people are who are running our treasury and the Federal Reserve. Bobby keeps saying I should be president. I go, I wouldn't last 5 minutes because the first thing I would do is get rid of the Federal Reserve. Second thing I would do is put us on a gold standard. That's what we need. But because we're run by banks, well, I don't know if the banks would care if we're on a gold standard. The Federal Reserve might care when I get rid of it. I'd get rid of education and I'd get rid of all this prescription drug with this poison in it from coming from the border. I heard about that today. I heard that they don't even check the label. It doesn't say fentanyl or whatever it is, and that people are taking it without knowing it and dying. And then I said to the lady, I says, that's why I don't take medicines. I'm fine. This is my medicine here, ginger and cinnamon. That's what I take. And when I'm sick, I fast. I don't take anything. So that's where you're at. But that's all we're doing. We're going to go to a gold universe from a paper universe. The paper universe never works. It's been tried and tried and tried, and it never works. Eventually, there's always a new ride that everybody goes on called the gold ride. Once you understand that, then you just buy as much gold and silver as you can. Ideally, you want to get paid in gold and silver. You don't want to get paid in dollars. And that's what's going to be the hard part. So everybody who's working, let's say you're making $80,000, just to throw a number out. Now what are you going to get paid? Do you want to get paid in dollars? No. I want to get paid in gold and silver. So how do you convert that to gold and silver? So your paycheck's going to be, here's what, a half ounce of gold, because it'll be worth, well, let's say you make let's say you make $5,000 a week. What are you going to get? You're going to get a tenth of an ounce of gold for it, or what? Here you get a tenth of an ounce. Here's your paycheck. Okay, I did well. The Federal Reserve's caused nothing but death and crisis and poverty, and it was never supposed to be here. It was in the Constitution. No, only use gold and silver money and no central banks. And then we decide to ignore that. Well, what the fuck do you think it was put in for? Because they know what's going to happen. So since 1913, we've had inflation. It was a little less because of the gold standard that we're on. But then as soon as that went away in 1971, look what's happened. I wonder if there's a price catalog. I'll have to look at that. The price of a hamburger was probably 25 cents in 1970. And now it's what, $8 or more, $15. So that's the money. That's the value of the money going down. That's what happens. So anyway, everything will get priced in gold and silver, so don't worry. All we're doing is leaving the paper universe for the gold universe. Egon can't seem to find that, to get that understanding. He thinks, you don't want the gold price to go up because then there's chaos. In the paper universe, there's chaos, not in the gold universe. This is what we should have been in 25 years ago. And we keep hanging on in the paper because of the corrupt politicians who want to stay in paper and want to keep lining their pockets. They don't give a fuck about the people. They're as bad as the bankers who fuck you over on the real estate trust, and everybody loses all their money. They don't give a fuck. They only care about JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. That's all they care about. We got to keep the bank alive. And that's really the problem, right? But if we're on the gold universe, it wouldn't fucking matter. It would be fine. Or as I say, the gold boat. The key is to get off the Titanic and into the gold boat, or get out of our Titanic universe into the gold universe. That's all we're trying to do in simple terms that most people cannot identify with. They don't understand they're in a paper universe. They think the money is money, and it isn't. It's worthless. It's got numbers on it and presidents on it that are absolutely meaningless. They don't buy shit. I went to the grocery store the other day, and I'm buying my, what did I buy? I bought some, I don't know. What did I buy? I bought peanut butter, right? And it was like $3 for like 16 ounces of peanut butter. It was like $3.50. Are you kidding me? Back in the 70s, it was probably 59 cents. So that's what people don't realize, is that they keep you blind to it. So we should be not in this paper system. We never should have entered the paper system. It's flawed. It's Keynesian. We already know it doesn't work. It didn't work in the 20s and 30s, which is what caused the Depression and the wars. All the wars were caused because of the paper system. Hitler, what did he do? Here's Hitler's game plan. Well, we're going broke because of the hyperinflation. Why don't we go into countries and steal their gold? But you know what? We need a military to do that. So let's get this big military, and we'll go into Czechoslovakia and France and Brussels and Amsterdam, and we'll steal their gold. How about that? He goes and creates and goes to war for gold. He knows about gold. Putin knows about gold. The only people that don't know about gold are these idiots in the U.S., the Biden, the Obamas, the Trumps. They don't know about gold, apparently. So they have all this paper shit, and they don't even realize it's worthless. They think it's real money. This is how stupid the whole game is. They think so they are the passengers on the Titanic who say, well, it can't sink. It's unsinkable. It won't sink. Oh my God. We just hit an iceberg, right? In our iceberg, it's debt, right? Our debt just hit 35 trillion. We're fucked. Even if our debt didn't, we're fucked because the money we have is worthless. And then we run around trying to kill everybody who wants to get into the gold universe. We kill Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi and anybody who says, I'm going to have a gold back. I want a gold universe. And we kill them. We kill them. Who the fuck are we to kill other people for wanting to go into the gold universe? We kill them. And now finally we're at the point where they're not going to kill Putin, and they're not going to kill Xi. They can't kill them, and they're the ones leading us into the gold universe. So we ought to thank them. Is it going to be a bad world? I don't know. Is this a bad world? Yeah. Is this world getting worse? Yeah. And there's nothing they can do about it. So as they fuck us over with the dollar universe, and our food goes through the roof and our dollar has no value, you know what? There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can. We'll raise interest rates. What good is that going to do? We're still in the paper universe. Your only out is the gold universe. That's the only thing that can save you. Just like this card, there can only be 100 of these cards. That's it. You can't print more than 100 because it's numbered to 100. That's it. And that's what gold is. Gold is you can only print 100 of them. And we don't want it because you know why? We want to print 500. We want to print 5 trillion. We're Joe Biden. We'll give 100 billion in aid to Ukraine. We'll give 100 billion in aid to that we can only print 100 of them. What do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna give them 200 of these? You can't give them 200. There's only 100 to give. So he's gonna print more money, which deflates the money by it inflates the currency by printing more, which kills the paper universe even more. So the paper universe is dying. It's the submarine at Disneyland, right? That's a 1965 ride, and we're in 2023. And we want to ride Space Mountain. So therefore, and pardon me for using Disney, this is non-woke Disney. This is conservative Disney. Or no, this is Austrian Disney. We'll have a Disney in Austria, and it won't be any woke stuff. So that's what you're doing. You can only have. Nobody wants that, right? Well, let's keep the ride open, though. We want the new ride. And so that's what it is. We don't want the paper anymore. But he keeps everybody blind to that we're in the paper economy. And then what do they say? Well, we'll save it by raising interest rates. Interest rates won't save this. How the fuck is it going to save it? You've printed more. So let's take this as the example. You've printed more than the 100 that's here. You can't. You can only print 100 of this Barry Bonds card. That's it. It says 100 is all you can print. So how are you going to give 100 away to Israel or Ukraine? You can't. You can't make more than we have. And so that's what they've done to us. They've got us off the number, and then they can print as much as they want. It isn't worth anything, and there's nothing you can't. So how does raising interest rates save this card? You can't. Once you print 100, that's all you can do. So if you raise interest rates to get the card back, okay, I'm going to sell it because interest rates are high. Then you have more of these to sell. That's the only way. But interest rates don't help you. Not if people don't sell it. Go, no, there's only 100 of them. I'm not selling. I don't care what the interest rate is. And that's what you have with the dollar, unfortunately. So they printed it. It's all corrupt. It's all for the banks and the government to steal money. It's not even like inflation's trying to make us poor. It's they are greedy and want more, but they don't understand the concept. You got to stop at 100. They don't understand that concept. In their world, it doesn't matter. We will keep going. We will keep with the paper. And keep with the paper. And the universe is blowing up. Prices are going up. The value of the dollar is dropping. We want to get out of this universe. Can we go to the gold universe? Why is Russia the one that has to take us to the gold universe? Why aren't we smart enough to go and make our own gold universe? And so that's what we're doing. So that's what I teach you, is to get into that universe, because you got to get out of this one, because this one's gone. And then to answer Luke's question, how much gold do I need for the gold universe? And the gold universe is as much as you can take. So in other words, you can go on that ride as many times as you want, the Space Mountain ride. And, we're probably going to close up the submarine ride because it's a 1964 ride. I remember going in the early 60s and going on the ride, or early 70s. And then I remember Space Mountain opening. Or some of these Star Wars rides or stuff like that. Now there's the Harry Potter ride. So here's a Universal story. I took Carmen to California Universal Studios, and it's a Harry Potter themed studio in a section. And we went to the Mummy ride, and the guy says, we said, how long is the ride, the line? He says, 20 minutes. We waited like 2 hours. My feet were killing me. I had to get out of line. So we go to cool down in this store. And the lady goes, "How's your day?" I go, "It sucks. This guy lied to us. He said it was a 20-minute ride at the Mummy. We were going on 2 hours." And she felt bad. She says, "I'll tell you what, there's a password you can use that'll get you to the front of the line. Like this, like if you paid for that extra thing, all you got to do is use the password." So you go up there and you go to the person in uniform and say, "The password's, what is Harry Potter." "Oh, okay, come on in." And you go right to the front. Now, I was too fat to get on the ride. It was one of these, you pull the lever over. I couldn't lock it in place because I was too heavy. It never pissed me off so much. So now I don't have the stuff. Now I could go on the ride because I don't have the belly. That's when I had diabetes. I was too fat. You have diabetes when you're too fat to go on the ride, and you can't lock yourself in. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. Carmen took the ride, and we were going through the Harry Potter castle, which I really wanted to do. I didn't understand why it was a locking mechanism, and I was too fat for it. That I've never seen. Was this just for like kids? So she got on. She took the ride. I waited for her. She got off. And I was like, fuck, I'm still frustrated because I can't get on the fucking ride. So I almost want to go back to get on the ride, but I'm not going to do that. But anyway, if you ever go to Universal, it's probably the same at Disney. Go to somebody, give them $50, I don't know, $25, and say, "What's the password to get on the rides?" And you pay them off and you get the password and you don't have to wait in a line. So it's there's a way to do everything. So that's the way when you're at Universal, get the password and you just go to that little sideline and you give them the password and you get right on. Pretty good, huh? All right. I did it by mistake. I was just pissed because of the guy telling me it's a 20-minute wait and it's going on 2 hours. I couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, it was probably all the guys going in the front in the free line with the password. I think it was all the rides that it worked at. But anyway, so that's what you did. So anyway, our goal is to get you to the gold universe out of the paper universe. And if people understood it like that, everybody would be into the gold universe and out of the paper universe in 5 minutes. But they don't teach that or explain that. You think the money's good. What do? What's the Madoff of this? The Madoff of the dollar is that it's got a value and there's no alternative. We're the world reserve currency. There is no alternative. Oh, gold. No, gold's not. There is no gold universe. There's no gold tram and a gold, ride and everything. There is no gold universe. And that's what they keep lying to you about. So they keep you in the paper universe, trying to make you believe that the paper's got a value, which it doesn't. But they kind of fool you because you can go to the grocery store with it and buy things with it. So you go, oh, okay. You don't realize when it's gone down in value, where it bought Oreos for you for 25 cents and now the Oreos cost $5. You don't put two and two together. Oh, Oreos raised their price. No, the fucking dollar's worth so little that you need it to buy. You need 5 of them to buy the Oreos. Or as I put it, gold was $35 an ounce is now $2,000 because it now takes $2,000 to buy the same ounce because the value of the fucking dollars is done. So the goal is to get into the gold universe. If you can get there, it's all lights and pretty girls and gold all over the place. Everything sparkles, but they don't want you there. They want to keep you controlled in the paper world, and that's the big problem. Right? That's not where you want to be. That's about as easy as I can explain it. Even I learned explaining it this way. I've never explained it this way before. See, things just pop in when you're an INFJ that you can use. Like the Titanic just popped in. So think of it, if you want to think of it as the Titanic, that's why I say that. You're getting off the Titanic to the gold boat. Or the Titanic is the paper universe, and then the gold boat is the gold universe. And you're sinking in the paper universe / the Titanic. You're going to the bottom of the ocean. If you like it or not, that's where you're headed. Bobby Bo, where have you been? I've been talking gold universe. You're missing the whole gold universe, paper universe talk. And I gave away how to get on Universal rides for nothing. Oh my God. I'm trying to escape the matrix. Well, we're in the paper matrix. Just got off a call with a good buddy of mine. He says he's about to leave his job once and for all. Well, have him buy gold. He won't have to work again as long as he lives. So the synopsis is we're in a paper universe and we're trying to get to the gold universe. That's the synopsis of the last hour of the class that you missed. So to put it bluntly for you, Bobby, this is Barry's card. There's 100 made. This is the gold universe. They can't make more than 100. In the Madoff universe, they ignore the 100 and print 1,000 of these. And, ignore that they can only make 100 as they lower the value. The reason this has a value, they only made 100. If they made 10,000, they would have less of a value. If it's not numbered, it has less of a value. But then you get into the graded. So that's why the Montana card's 125, is because there's only so many PSA 10. So it's like if you look at the Montana PSA 10, there's only 25 here. So if there's only 25 PSA 10 Montana rookies, that's why it's 125,000. He's asking for tips on how to get a new one. I told him I'll ask the professor. A new job? Tell him his job is to buy as much gold and silver as he possibly can. I told him all that, and he's on board, but says he needs one for at least 2024, basically a year. Tell him to go to the grocery store. Where do you usually search Indeed and those other sites? LinkedIn, Indeed. You put in a search, senior financial analyst, and then it pops in your email. You have the resume online, put it in Indeed, and then it's when you apply, you just click resume, and then it updates it. And then you just wait for a phone call. Now you just wait for phone calls. Once you post your resume, people call you because they're trying to use you to make money. Just like Harley did. They used me to make money. They didn't tell me it was 4 months. I signed a year. They knew it was 4 months. Harley knew it was 4 months. Apparently, the only one who didn't know was me. So I take it. It's a 4-month contract. I get fucked. Kind of, but at $60 an hour, I fucked them back. I was able to buy more gold. So it was a wash. But I'm waiting for a new job, and I don't know if I'll ever get one. And it won't matter. Once gold goes up, I don't give a fuck about working. I'm gonna live in my, as I've been explaining, you've missed, is we're in the paper universe, and we want to get to the gold universe. And in the gold universe, everything's gold, and there's no crime, and there's beautiful girls, and you eat steak every day. And in the paper universe, you're all fucked. And so we got to get off of that. Or you can use Titanic as the paper universe. You want to get off. And then I say, me and you, once we know we hit the iceberg, we walk right to the whatever boats you call them, the lifeboats. So we walked right to the lifeboat, say, lower it down for us. We got our gold and silver. Lower it down. We're getting out of here. Now we're not going to wait for the rush, which is what we're doing by buying the gold and the silver now instead of waiting for the mass rush into the gold. And people will try to get into our gold universe, and we're like, I don't know. Are you really a gold person, or did you just panic and buy it? So we'll have to see if we let them in or not. Yeah, I will tell them, but I told them buy assets. Don't just rely on these bastards. Bobby, it's simple. Buy gold. Get in the gold universe. That's all he's got to do. I mean, that's it. There's It's the simplest thing you can do is buy fucking gold and get into the gold universe and just wait for the dollar to collapse and the gold to go through the roof. There's nothing else you need to buy. Get out of stocks, get out of bonds, got money in the bank, take it out, put it in your safe, or in your case, put it under your bed. And that's it. I mean, that's all you fucking have to do. Don't make it harder than it is. Or like Real D says, the Matrix. Well, we're in the paper universe. Call it the Matrix, whatever. And we want to go to the gold universe. Call it whatever, the gold matrix, whatever. It's all the same. I hate how we slave to the money. How we are slaves to the money. I agree, Real D. It's terrible shit hearing him all stressed out about it. Was like, is it even worth it? He needs to figure something out where he can build his own brand or business. And his professor says, just buy the fucking gold. Real estate is too tough because even I have held off as of late, but metals are easier to slowly accumulate. But I think this guy is just stressing out because he's used to the paycheck. Well, again, he's in the paper world and he needs to get out. He needs to get out of the paper universe. Once you understand you're in the paper universe and you can go to this gold universe, it's all over. You don't need a paycheck. You just play with your gold. As I said, I don't know. Did you see this? Probably not. So I showed this picture to Daria yesterday. I don't know. Did you hear this Russia thing I was going through? So as I said, we're gonna go to Russia and see which one they'll take. I think they'll take the Cougaran because South Africa is part of BRICS. They probably won't take the U.S. and they probably won't take the Maple Leaf. However, gold is gold, and they might take it. So tell your friend this is the goal: is to accumulate as much of this. This is the game. We are playing a game. All he needs to do is play the game. Just get into the gold universe. That's it. That's all he needs to do. It's simple. And just watch the value go up. He's almost there. It's only a month or two away. January. Add a zero, add 2 zeros to your silver and add 1 zero to your gold. At least. And then once all the people from the Titanic realize the boat's sinking, or the dollar or the paper universe is collapsing, they'll all run to the gold universe. And then we'll be sitting there going, I don't know if I want to sell my gold now. It's only at 50,000. I'm going to wait till it goes to 100,000. I'm trying to do Eddie Murphy, but that's all that's all he needs to do. It's a piece of fucking cake. He's used to a paycheck. When you turn $2,000 of gold into $50,000, do you need a fucking paycheck? Unbelievable. If he wants, tell him to go work at McDonald's to get a paycheck, or somewhere like Myers. You can be the greeter. Hello, welcome to Myers. Goodbye, welcome to Myers. I get he's used to a pay. We're all used to paychecks because that's the way the paper universe works. That's how you're a slave, because you get the paycheck. So you have to go to work, even if you hate it, because they treat you like shit there. You have to go where somebody wants to pay you. That's what it's all about. But if we have gold and silver, we have our own universe. We have our own gold universe. We don't need a paycheck. We just need gold and silver to go to its price, which shows you why they're suppressing it, because they are forcing you to be in the paper world. And as they are dumbasses, eventually we're going to go to the gold world. Now that we all understand it, we go to the gold world, or gold universe. I like that better. And that's where we're at. And that's all it is, Bobby. You know it. I mean, if you think about it that way, it makes perfect sense. We've been held in this paper universe. sort of like by the Joker, right? So the Joker's holding us here, and we're trying to escape. So we need to buy so much gold to escape the Joker. Boy, that's a perfect scenario, and that's what it is. And then we get out of it. But then you have your Warren Buffets and Bill Gates who are working with the Joker to keep us inside. Stay inside. And here's Biden getting his money. Stay inside. We'll create this fake war in Israel and this one in Ukraine. Stay inside. Stay inside. How did it come to this is just pure bullshit. It's because they don't want to teach it so nobody knows they're in the paper universe or the Matrix or the Titanic, as we want to call it. It's got many names. It's all evil and it's all bullshit, and they control us. Like, you're worried about CBDCs to be controlled. Do you understand how controlled you are in the paper universe? You're tracked. Oh, what do you need the money for at the bank? Oh, you went to Amsterdam. Oh, you went to Vegas. Oh, you went to this place for dinner. Oh, you called this person on the phone. They know everything. You're fucked. But in the gold universe, you're not, because nobody knows you have it. That's the beauty of it. And there's no taxes because nobody can tax you because nobody knows you have it. You go to the store, you buy it, and you just put it in your safe. And as many units as you can buy, you buy, and you're in the gold world. And we're in the gold world. At least I am. As the professor says, go buy gold, buy silver, real estate. I think I read this one. Well, real estate's so expensive, and it's not. Gold and silver hasn't gone up yet. Real estate has, and it's on the way down. Okay, the real deal. Where can I buy gold? You're asking us now, Bobby. Give him a penalty for asking this late in the game. Go to a store that sells gold, or you can go online and you can call my store, not mine, but the store I buy from, or don't go to SD Bullion, not JM Bullion, and you check prices. But usually, where do you live? What city, Real D? Yeah, yeah. I was an employee, and they let me go, and they gave me a severance, and I didn't have to pay the relocation back. Had I quit, I would have owed them $7,500 in relocation, and I wouldn't have got severance. So I forced them to fire me, and then I got 2 weeks severance, and I didn't have to pay the $7,500 relocation back. So I was I outsmarted them. What else is new, right? Yeah, okay. Google the nearest coin store, withers you live, Red. Oh my God, Bobby, you drinking so early in the day. Well, it's 4:40. Google the nearest coin store where you live, Real D. That's what he's trying to say. Real D, I live in Jersey. I was taught about this gold, and I wasn't taught about this gold until you prefer. Well, that's why I do this, because it doesn't get taught, because they don't want you to leave the paper world. Once you leave the paper world for the gold route, they can't control you anymore. You're no longer a slave. You're free. And the amount of money that you're going to make by going to gold, thanks to Mr. Putin and Mr. Xi, is going to be huge. And what we'll do is we'll leave this world of paper and this world of paper. So if you're in Europe or US, this is worthless. This is the paper world. It goes away, and everybody runs to the gold world. But the thing is, there's not enough gold to run everybody to run in, which makes the price go to the fucking moon. So if you buy it now, you're just going to wait for the ride up, and that's it. And then there won't be dollars, so then gold will be valued in gold. I want to buy Bobby's house for an ounce of gold, and Bobby will be so happy to get gold, he'll sell it to me. Or silver, gold and silver. That's it. Don't fuck around with anything else. Gold and silver. They're both real money. and you cannot lose. You have a zero risk in these, and the risk you have in these, this is the euro. The risk you have in this is huge. This is going to zero. This isn't worth five nothings. This is going to buy you a cup of coffee in Switzerland. Maybe $5 buys you a cup of coffee. This is going to zero. They're going to try to scam everybody by coming out with new dollars. You watch. January comes out. There'll be a new US dollar. There'll be a new euro. There'll be a new British pound. There'll be a new Swiss franc. There'll be a new Japanese yen and Canadian. They'll all come out with new dollars, trying to pass them off as they have value. If it's not backed by gold, there is no value. The only way this has a value if it's backed by gold. And as I said, I don't know if you were here, Bobby. We're gonna send the gold to Daria. She's gonna get us ruble back gold. So once the ruble gets backed by gold, we don't want this. We don't want to. Your gold's worth 50,000 an ounce. In your case, your silver's worth 10,000 an ounce. You don't want this. This is worthless. So why would you give out $10,000 ounce of silver for this? You want the ruble backed by gold because you're getting gold for your gold. So you sell it for 10 grand, you get the ruble, and that's what we're gonna do. So Daria will be our agent, and she'll be on our team. We will give her gold. She'll give us money backed by gold, and because we can't take that. Who wants that piece of shit? And it will be, and then as everybody's going to turn to the gold ruble, not to the gold dollar. And the U.S. is going to be sitting there with their heads up their ass going, why doesn't anybody want our dollars? And that was my example, was the 1964 submarine ride at Disneyland. Why doesn't anybody want to go on it anymore? They all want to go to Space Mountain. Or the 60-year-old at the bar versus the 25-year-old at the bar. Why does everybody want the 25-year-old? I've been around a long time. I'm 65. Come on. Wasn't taught about this gold until you. Yeah. So like I said, they don't want to teach it. I got lucky. I got my master's in 93, 94, 95. And it was a master's in corporate finance, which is budgeting and costing and stuff like that. And I happened to have a couple economic classes, and I was scared because when you take Keynesian economics, they don't talk about gold and they talk Chinese, and you go, what the fuck are you talking about? I had an Austrian economist teach us. First thing he did was rip the dollar. That got my attention. And then he just laid it out the way I lay on all opinion of exchange is this and the dollar is that, and all the wars are about money and gold and da-da-da-da-da. And I can regurgitate everything he taught me. You don't see me usually look at notes. It's all right in my head. And this is all from 95. And we're already 30 years on already. I can't believe it's been that long. 30 years later, I remember everything perfectly. And when I graduated, first thing I did was buy this. This is 1 ounce of gold. $250 is all I paid for it. And then we got all the baseball cards, which I wanted to buy more gold. But this is why she's the ex-wife and not the real wife. But my new girls, like Daria and Jenna, they understand gold. Jenna doesn't quite follow why I'm giving her gold and silver. And like, why are you giving me $25 silver? Why are you giving me that? And I says, it's going to 2000. Don't worry about it. We're just ahead of the game. So she'll understand it when it goes to the boon. She'll go, now I understand what you did. She knows gold and silver is good, as does Daria. They both know gold and silver are good things. So they just have to, once it starts going to the moon, then they'll go, fuck, we're rich. And I got to keep a secret from Putin, or Putin will want it, right? Anyway, is severance a portion of the normal pay rate or the whole 80 hours of normal rate? All right, so let's say you make $3,000 for 80 hours work. Just a hypothetical, severance is an extra 2 weeks, so you would get the $3,000. It's just simply so if you're making $50 an hour for 40 hours, and you get 80 hours of severance, it'd be $50 an hour times 80. If you're on most salaried workers, you get 100,000 divided by 24, 26 pays. So you would just get another check of the two, whatever your normal pay is usually what you're going to get. So if you make $3,000 a paycheck, that's what you'll get in severance. Now, if he has any 401k, my advice is to take it and then get out of it as soon as possible and buy gold with it before you can't buy the gold. That's what you want to do. So no matter where you live, in Tampa, in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, or Pittsburgh, like Luke, there's coin stores all around. Just give them money, get the coin, get the gold, and off you go. And you don't pay sales tax. You go in with money, you get the gold, you go home, you put it in your safe. If you don't have it, you buy a safe, and you just stack it in your safe. And you go every week and just go buy more and more and more. If you don't have a lot, you buy silver. He was telling me that at least he would be able to free up his 401k, which he can only. Absolutely, he needs to get out of it. Well, why does the company care if he's in it or not? If I was him, I would. The last few jobs, the Toyota job and the Harley, I didn't even take 401k. I said, I'd rather get more money and I'll buy gold and silver with it. That's basically what I did. I didn't want money in stocks. Why would I want to put 10 grand in something that's going to zero? That's not too intelligent, but I can take the 10 grand. Well, maybe I get 5 grand because the employer matches, but so I take the 5 grand and buy the gold. And we're helping our friend, I think it's Todd, and we're helping him by saying, I lost 10 grand. Well, just buy gold and you'll get more than your 10 grand back. Sure thing. They said he can take it out unless it's a medical. He can't take it out unless it's a medical emergency or if he leaves completely. Yeah, so he's leaving, so that's fine. But that's going to start happening more and more and more. It's happening to all the auto companies. They're laying you off because they can't handle the inflation. As their costs go up because the dollar value loses, and they realize in the market they cannot sell the product. I can't sell the pen for $4. Oh, my prices went up. I got to charge 10. Nobody will buy them for 10. Then the light goes on and I got to lay off people because I can't charge $10 because the market won't bear it. And if the market won't bear this, I'm fucked. Then my next step is to lay off people because I'm not getting my normal revenue in. So I've got to cut my costs, and then everybody gets laid off. Multiply that out. We can't go to Target and buy stuff because we don't have money. And so in this paper universe, everybody's getting fucked because the paper is so overprinted it has no more value. So everybody's trapped on the boat, basically, right? You can't get off the paper universe. So you're fucked. He wants to leave so bad, but if he quits, he can't collect in the meantime. I thought, so he's working, but they're not firing him, but he wants to quit, but then he can't get it if he quits? Well, if he needs to get fired, he said they're trying to get him for behavior or performance. Well, no, they'll just fire him. Here, they don't even need a reason. It's just, we got to lay you off because profits are bad. So, I wouldn't do behavior. If I was him, tell him not to do behavior. Performance can be, they have to prove it. Behavior can simply be all, like my girl in Alabama. Well, he wanted to give me $100 for sex, even though he never mentioned the word sex. If Cincinnati won the Super Bowl, so therefore I'm going to assume it's sex, and I'm going to, complain. So you don't really want that out there. The performance is then it's, what are you talking about? I did well. I performed. I don't know what you're talking about. How long has he been at this company? Well, it can't be performance, because if he didn't know what he was doing, then how would he be there for 4 years? And I'm assuming he's gotten raises. So once he's there and he clears 90 days, then that's when you get him on performance. But after 4 years, you can't get him on performance, because he's already proven he knows what he's doing, or you wouldn't have kept him for 4 years. Third manager, well, it's probably very weak management. Most managers are terrible. Had good reviews first 2 years, but they changed managers and they hate each other. Let me guess, you got a woman manager? They're the worst. Canadian managers are very good, by the way. I've had two, and they were excellent managers. Good people. Smart aleck, but good people. So if you understand them, you're fine with them. Yes, I mean, there you go. It's it can't be performance if he got good reviews. So they can only get on behavior. So he's got to just keep his mouth shut. Just go in, be an INFJ. Just go in and just walk by everybody. I've been doing that at the club lately, and these people are looking at me. I'm getting such respect. Oh, excuse me, sir, and hello, and have a nice day, sir. And I ain't saying shit. That one guy I told you about, he said he's getting married, and I asked him, why are you getting married? So we haven't talked in a while, because I'm like, fuck you. I'm trying to help you. You disrespect the wrong person. You don't disrespect Don Corleone. So he disrespects me. So now I don't talk to him. So yesterday he goes, hi, how are you? I didn't say a word. I just kept walking. No. I've shut the door on you, as an INFJ would do. It doesn't go open. It's been shut, because I see that what you really are, and I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not going to benefit from you. It's like all these guys that want to say hi. I go, what do I want to say hi to you for? What are you going to help me with? You're not going to tell me to buy gold. I'm going to tell you to buy gold, and you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. I'm going to say, get out of stocks, and you're not going to listen. So what the fuck do I want to talk to you for? There's nothing I'm going to talk to you. I got friends. I don't need you as a friend. So shut the fuck up and get out of my way. Tell them to act like that. Just tell them to shut up and just walk. Like Michael walking out of the Italian restaurant. Just don't look at anybody, but don't look away. If he can do that, he'll be way ahead of the game. Had good review. Okay. So yeah, that's the way to handle these guys. Just shut up. Don't give them an excuse. Just do whatever your work is. They get rid of you. They get rid of you. You probably, so I can see why he's looking for a new job, but tell him just buy gold, and he'll never have to work again as long as he lives. But I don't know if he's welcome on our island. We don't like people like that. He's got to be. Why isn't he in the class? So we're very selective, Bobby, on our island, who we're going to let on. And no LeBron. We don't want him there. Brady, maybe. Depends if he buys gold or not. Anyway, so really that's what it is. They can keep you as a slave in the paper universe, but they can't keep you as a slave in the gold universe, because Number 2, scarce has a high value. Overabundance loses value. So our dollar has lost value. I'm not a LeBron fan. He's a prima donna. What has he done? All he does is switch teams and go, I need these two guys with me. What the fuck is that? If he's a real leader, he'd be able to lead with whoever he's got on the team and win. You didn't run to San Francisco to play with Barry. You stayed on the Mets. You said, this is the team I'm on. So that's what I don't like about him is he's a prima donna, that he goes to the team and then he needs his buddies to win. Like, fuck, dude, just if you're that good, you'll make the play. Brady won with shit receivers and shit running backs the whole time. So he didn't, he got 1 year, he got Randy Moss. He broke the record for touchdowns. Otherwise, and the Patriots weren't smart enough to keep Randy Moss around. But this bullshit of going to LA and I need the Anthony Davis and these other guys, or he's a baby. I mean, I don't respect that. No, I respect a person that's a man that, what do I got to work with, and goes ahead and wins anyway. That's what I respect. Look at the Niners at Brock Purdy. They didn't cry. They didn't let's trade. We got to trade for Aaron Rodgers, or we got to trade for Mahomes. They said, okay, we got Purdy. We'll win with him. And they get much more respect. Unfortunately, he got hurt in the game. But look at Mahomes. He loses all his receivers. He doesn't cry. He sits there and says, well, give me somebody you can catch. He's got Kelsey. So Mahomes didn't cry for guys. So I respect him a lot more than I do LeBron. The Rock didn't cry for guys. He just laid the smackdown on everybody, and he's the champ. So, there's a different way to be the star and do it. And until he does it like The Rock, I just don't respect him. I think he's a babe. And then he kowtowed to China because they pay him. What was that? Oh yeah. I guess we should root for China. Fuck, you're gonna leave us for China, like the biggest communist country in the world? Are you out of your fucking mind? So LeBron doesn't even understand what communism is, and he's their slave. He doesn't even understand he's their slave. So I just shake my head at him. Anyway, that's what we're up against, and we just go and buy and accumulate as much gold and silver as you can. If you can't afford a lot of gold, silver's $25 an ounce. Don't bullshit me. You can't buy 10 ounces and spend $250. Just buy it, and then pretty soon you'll take the 10 and buy an ounce of gold at $50,000 an ounce. And then you take that to buy a house and a car, and off you go. So that's all we're going to do, is we're going to get out of the paper universe into the gold one. And the paper one is collapsing, but we don't care. We're not in it anymore. We're in the gold universe. And that's where we want to be. That's the safe haven, the safe place, is to be in the gold universe. And if you're there, nobody knows you're in it, and you can't lose. Right? I mean, how much money did you earn? Nothing. How are you going to tax me? I got gold. You can't tax me. You don't know I have it. So that's another big part of it. But it's all collapse. We let them do this paper universe, and it's collapsing. It's worthless. Get the fuck out. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. The problem is Egon and the alligator don't get that you get to the gold universe. They think the paper universe collapse. It's going to be terrible. It will be for paper, but who's going to be in it? We'll be in the gold current. We'll be in the gold universe. We don't really care about the paper universe. And what I'm saying is you're going to have girlfriends and your family who are going to be in the paper universe, and they're going to cry, oh, I need to be in the gold universe. That's why I say buy a little bit more. You can give them a few ounces of silver, and then you've taken care of them. But when gold hits 50,000 an ounce, sorry, you don't care who's coming knocking at the door. You don't want to give that up. So that's what you got to be careful with. So I don't mind when I give Jenna, it's a $2,000 an ounce gold, but when it hits 40 and 50,000, she's gonna get more silver than the gold. That's why I'm giving her the gold now. But Daria knows. She knows all. She knows how much we have. I sent her a picture with the whole stack, so she's pretty excited. And now it's just waiting till we can get there, and off we go. So we will see. But that's how you can be safe and not be a slave. Otherwise, you're fucked. You stay in the dollar universe, you're fucked. You have no way out. It doesn't matter if you're Warren Buffett or whatchamacallit, Microsoft guy, or your Bezos or your Hollywood Hogan. It doesn't matter. You're fucked because it's all worthless. And they don't get it because they don't understand the gold universe. They only understand the paper universe. So anyway, that's the bottom line. And that's the only way out. Just like you're in a maze, there's one way out. You can either go that way. So I'm telling you, I'm pointing here. No, go here, go here. And you're like, no, I'm going to go this way. And you're just going, okay, you'll never get out that way, but that's fine. Oh, you want to be in oil stocks? Well, good luck to you. They're going to go up. They're in dollars. It doesn't matter what they go to. It'll be zero. Idiots. Anyway, what else? So tonight's game, back to football, I guess. Well, we can still talk gold, but Buffalo 9.5, 43.5. The only play I could see is under. Tampa Bay doesn't score a lot. Buffalo struggled against fucking New England. They both have 17 defenses. Let's see what the line is. Nine and a half, 43.5. Buffalo injuries. Is Buffalo going to come out in their red or their blue jerseys? I like the blue ones better. Yeah, Baker's playing. He was a full participant in practice Wednesday. And the line's 9.5. I can't imagine he's not. So there you go. Free play, Philadelphia Madoffs and the Cincinnati Bengals with Brock Purdy out because it's a concussion protocol. He'll never get out of it in a week. So Cincinnati gets 9.5. Burrow, very tough. Yes, I hate that it's Niners are off of 2 losses in a row, but when you look at they lost to fucking Minnesota, oh my God. So we'll see. Minnesota's getting hot. They were the dog to Green Bay. They've gone favorite, unfortunately. I love them as the dog. This is why you got to bet Sundays and Mondays. You bet it. You see that Green Bay 2.5. You jump on it now. It's Minnesota 1.5. At best, you get 4.5. You had 8.5. It's a much better play at 8.5. But we don't like Green Bay because Love's terrible. Unless that the running back, what is it, Holmes, Aaron Jones, whatever, Jones Holmes. If he plays, that's a different story. Then I like Green Bay. But if he doesn't play, Love's terrible. So I don't know. Will Minnesota be flat after beating Frisco? Will they be like, oh, my God, we beat Frisco? or not. So the free play is Cincinnati and Philly. The free college plays is the USC over with Cal, 66 down to 60. I've got 4 locks going, 1 pro lock, and many college locks, 3-4 college locks. College is like, here we go. We've got our numbers. We're pretty confident in them. We've microed them looking at how they've done against other teams in the last 3 or 4 games on the schedule, thrown out the high school games, and off we go. Anyway, so that's about it. Anything else? Economics, football, the Berry card. So this is a beautiful card. It's a 98 tops black label set, and this is the red label insert in it. You can see it's red. In a normal card, it's black. And again, because it's Berry, it's not worth what it should be. And it says 99 out of 100. So, but it's a nice refractor. You can see how it kind of shines, and that's what I liked about it. And it was short numbered out of, I got some that are 25 and 50. So they're very nice. I have one I'll show you next time, the Z Team. Beautiful fucking card. I got a Montana and a Berry and a Jerry Rice in it. It's a piece of art. I mean, it's beautiful. So I'll have to pull that out. But again, I went through the safe because I couldn't find my 1/4 ounce of gold. I got 56 ounces. This is 55.75. And it was on the floor here. So I went into my safe thinking, well, maybe I dropped it from my thing. Anyway, that's what's going on. www.teaserking.com. It's a good week to buy. Definitely, the site's working. Everything's fine. 4 strong locks in college and one strong lock in the pro. You're going to make some serious money. We're waiting on Miami, New England. If our Miami receivers play, they're both questionable. That'll be another strong play that we'll add. So right now, I'm ready to add it, and then I said, "Whoa, let me make sure they're questionable. Let's wait and see." I'm sure they'll play because they're questionable. Miami will need the game, especially if Buffalo wins tonight. They'll be tied with them, which will force Miami to win. And we know Miami has no defense. It's just Miami equals USC. Great offense, no defense. It's amazing in the pros. You have a team that has no defense, but that's what you have. So anyway, and of course we'll play I love the Jets-Giants games. You know, it's both teams home. It's both teams home field. So it shows you that the Jets at home are a 3-point favorite over the Giants, and I think that's ridiculous. I think it's more like 7 or 8 points. Love that Jet defense. Anyway, that's what we see. Be careful. Careful. The 9.5-point spreads, be careful. Because Tampa's not that bad. Tampa's the 17 defense. The only time I let you do that is against Carolina with the 31 defense. Or, the Giants with the 25 defense. And maybe Arizona with the 26 defense. Chicago with those couple of teams I would let you play the 10s. But not again. Tampa with the 17 defense. I mean, unless Mayfield's out, but I'm not seeing that. No way. All right. I guess that's it. I'll see you around the same time tomorrow, Batman. Probably about 12:30. I got hamburgers to make, but I'm just fried. I can't. I need to take a nap. So I'll eat my hamburgers later. But we'll see. But anyway, happy Thursday. Enjoy the game if you're watching that one. God knows if you're watching the others, the college games. But good luck. Baseball tomorrow. I never knew who won the Arizona game. I saw 4-2 in the ninth inning, and I don't get TBS. How do you get TBS on your Roku TV? I don't know how to do it. That's what I was asking because I don't. That's why I'm saying, how do you not put it on normal TV? So people aren't watching a game 7 because they can't get it is the problem. Then you miss it, and then you don't have any interest because you don't even know it's on. How do you not have that on regular TV? Now, I think the World Series will be on Fox, but you got to be fucking kidding me. The reason football is successful is the kids can watch it and bet on it when they're young and grow up with it. And that's why you don't fuck around with the game like baseball is doing. Baseball will have no viewers. I don't know what baseball is doing, but they don't quite understand the market, right? All right. I need a nap and some dinner. www.teaserking.com. Have a nice night, everybody. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Again, Buffalo, if I had to play, it'd be under. And we're winning on the Miami receivers. Your free picks, Philly and Cincinnati. The Bengals, not the college. All right, everybody. Have a nice night. www.teaserking.com. All right, take care.